Welcome back to the Rootless Minds Podcast. I'm your host, Noah Robertson. I talk to anybody, anywhere, about anything. And today I have on my most reoccurring guest, Lane Edgerton. Welcome back, brother.
Hello, again. What is this, fourth time?
Last time we were talking about apocalypses, and this is going to be a part 2 of that.
Yeah, like 2 weeks later.
Well, we got there eventually.
We're obviously not going to pick off directly where we left off, but The general idea is I wanted to talk about different types of apocalypses throughout games, movies, TV shows, books, just, the fun stuff.
Yeah, we mainly talked about the zombie apocalypse and some nuclear apocalypse and some other stuff. And this time you said you want to talk about apocalypses in games, books, movies, specifically, not just the general premise of that apocalypse.
Well, I want to talk about that universe in general. Mm-hmm. So, nuclear apocalypses, the nuclear fallout and all that, that's its own little series, but you got something like Metro or Fallout, which that is a whole different universe with its own little, quirks and stuff like that. So those are fun, different universes that I'd like to talk about too.
Yeah, you really enjoy Metro, so just go ahead and talk about that, man, because you're always talking about Metro.
Yeah, always. 90% of the time it's Metro. I just walk up, just start.
Whenever we're talking about apocalypses, man, don't be so sarcastic. I got long arms. I can slap you across this.
Yeah, no. The thing about Metro is if you've ever played Fallout, it's like a Russian version of Fallout, except it's chapter-based. It's not open world. The newest one is more of a...
You're talking about specifically the game, not the books right now?
I'm talking about the game. The books and the games are different. I actually got bored of the books. Which is sad because they're a very cool universe. But no, I was like, man, the first one was okay. The second one, I got bored. It didn't have the same characters. Well, it did, just not Artyom. Artyom.
Artyom?
No, it's Artyom. I'm just messing up.
Artyom and the Sword and the Stone. We're only 2 minutes in, and you're already messing up on words. You've already said yeah, no. That's
I'm telling you.
Next podcast, I'm gonna introduce you as yeah, no. That's just it. Welcome back to the Rootless Minds Podcast. Today I have on yeah, no. But anyways,
I'm telling you, you need a counter for that. So each time it just ding, and then you just edit in and today's video had 53 yeah no's.
53
27. Yeah no's. But anyway.
If I start making money off this, and next podcast we do, I can do a charity thing. Every time you say yeah, no, I donate $1 or $10 or something.
Well, the trees, donating money to plant trees is over.
Yeah, Team Trees by Mr. Beast.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Beast. That was amazing.
Mr. Beast is
amazing. And you
amazing.
got no
Check
media coverage. None.
At all.
Nothing.
Except on YouTube. That's it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's such a big disconnect between what we find important and what adults find important. Adults.
Technically, we are adults, man.
Yeah, we're the next generation.
We're just man-childs.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell because I collect weapons like I'm 5.
How much money do you have saved up, man? You work all the time.
Enough. I'm not going to announce.
Is that enough to move out if you need to?
Well, that's the general idea, yeah. I'm saving up to get a car, move out, be self-sufficient.
You're actually going to get a car? They convinced you to do that? Because last time I was here, you were fully against it. What switched? What was the switch? What happened?
No, I'm always saving for a car. I just don't. For those of you that don't know, I don't have a car or drive.
Everybody listening.
All 3 people. All right. No, I bike everywhere, or I get rides, or I just walk because of the military academy. It's man, I got legs. Let's use them. I don't like cars. I don't mind riding in them. I just don't want to drive them. And I've been almost hit a couple of times. It's not fun. So I just generally don't like cars. I'll just be on the sidewalk. So if you ever see me, 21, riding a bike down the street, and you think, man, he looks like an idiot. It's yeah, I do.
I think that's anything you're doing, man.
This conversation right now.
Anything we're doing.
No, anything in general I'm doing. I just keep in mind, if I look dorky, just realize I know.
Look at that dude.
Look at that dude.
Look at the top of his head. I love that meme.
I miss Vine. TikTok did not replace Vine.
TikTok,
I say this a
no.
lot. Like, I'll just like randomly start a conversation with "I miss Vine," and then I'll reference a Vine that like either everyone knows or you don't know because you didn't do Vine. It's that simple.
I miss Vine with so much. The thing, you know why it died, right?
No, actually.
It's because everybody just watched Vine compilations on YouTube rather than on Vine.
Those damn millennials.
YouTube destroyed Vine.
YouTube, the original killer of things.
Yeah, YouTube's destroyed a lot of platforms.
I hate YouTube. I don't like. I use YouTube.
It's definitely a
all
love-hate
day.
relationship, man.
You're a good platform, YouTube. You really are. You're an
just gotta
amazing
improve your
platform.
shit.
You just stopped caring about your creators. You started pandering. You've sold out a lot, so that now I remember when YouTube had no ads, and then now it's multiple ads.
2 ads a video. That's really annoying.
Well, and that's just basic ones because then you also that's not YouTube's fault, but some creators they'll put in like just little sections.
I mean like
constant
2 ads back to back
at the beginning.
Yeah, YouTube included that, and that's just super annoying.
And what's really annoying is like used to be a platform that I could go to and I had an immediate problem, so I'd go search YouTube. Now I gotta not only wade through all of it, I gotta be like, is this what I'm looking for? And then I gotta wait through the ads. And then the other annoying thing, let's say if your phone's down and one of the ads goes, and if it ends and you don't hit the skip ad button, you gotta sit through another one.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to wait for that to pop up. And maybe it's 5 seconds, maybe it's 10.
There's a couple times where like the ad's actually really entertaining, and so I watch the ad. Good on the people for making the good ads. But then I get to the end, I'm like, wait, shit. We got another ad coming up, and I miss the skip button, and then the next ad's unskippable, and I'm like, oh, come on. And
I turned off marketed ads towards me.
This is the epitome of struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, third world or first world problems.
Third world. My Wi-Fi's down.
Yeah. No, first world problems.
Speaking of third world problems, have you seen that gravity light?
No.
Yeah, it's a light that is run fully on gravitational energy, and it's a big light, and you just have a sling with a bunch of pulleys, and it's got a little basket, and you just put some heavy things in the basket. You just by yourself, you lift up the heavy stuff, and then you just let go, and it slowly moves down, and it powers the light for like 15 minutes, something like that. And that's an amazing invention.
Sounds fake, but
it's real. It's 100% real.
All right, I'll just have to search it up.
It's dead. I'll look it up right now. Gravity light. They made it for specifically for people like in third world countries, mainly Africa, because these 2 guys, they went and they found that all these people were using like kerosene lights and using gasoline and stuff, so that they could light the inside of their house. And there's many cases of kids getting burnt while trying to do their homework, and houses burning down, and people even dying. So yeah, it's called Gravity Light right here. You can even buy it on Amazon.
That's cool.
It's amazing.
There's never going to be any sort of utopia, because what people would see nowadays in modern America, if someone from like 200-300 years ago saw that, they would think, man, this is a utopia. Food just instantly everywhere and all this stuff, and you don't die from the common cold. That would be insane to them. So there's never going to be an actual utopia. There's always going to be some internal problem, something going on. But at the same time, I'm just surprised we haven't really banded together. We should be helping countries,
There's always goods and bads to everything. And that thing about helping countries is...
All I'm saying is we're wasteful. It wouldn't hurt to send them some more water. It wouldn't hurt to send over some just basic windmills. I'm not talking about the 300-foot gigantic ones, but just some basic ones would be nice.
Did you know there's a windmill type thing it's literally just a pole sticking up, and it's powered by just the wind pushing it around, and this is the kinetic energy that
the Italian kinetic.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to imitate a pole type.
This is his pole. It's Italian. This is like my pole. It's just
pole, and it's just like the wind just pushes it around and everything.
That's cool. I only knew of 2 types of windmills, which is one where the blades it's a flat-faced one, so it spins like that, and then there's another one where the blades curve, so the wind spins it in a spiral.
Meaning it's like a screw shape, and the wind pushes it and it spins that.
The blades are kind of wrapped around, but the wind pushes it and it spins like that.
Do you know the name of it?
No.
Curved windmill. I'll look it up right now, see if I can describe it to the people.
Curved windmill. I'm just imagining it like bent, just like...
Images. Oh, I see.
Yeah, where the blades curve up around the pole and then it spins that way.
It's got a vertical pole. And again, I'm doing the Italian hand, but it's got a vertical pole.
To any Italians, I apologize. To Antonio, if you're watching this, I don't apologize. I miss you though, man. You were fun. Come back to Buffalo.
You just bashed on him and then said, I miss him.
Yeah, that's what we did. He'd walk in. I'd be like, hey, Baba da Boopy. And then he'd say it back. And then he'd curse at me in Italian and then ask how my day was going.
You actually knew Italian? I didn't know that.
I think he did.
Maybe you just made it up.
He knew the curse words.
Yeah, the curse words. I know the curse words in German.
Oh, he told me one too. He told me like, hey, if anyone ever insults you, say this. It translates to like this really cool insult. And I'm hoping that's what it was. I'm hoping it wasn't like a reverse where it was like I was calling myself like a giant dingus or something.
Yeah, I can't describe it very well, but if you're watching on YouTube, I'll make sure to pull up an image so you can see if you pull up it on YouTube.
Edit it in.
Yes, I'm getting better at editing. I'm trying to back to that problem of YouTube, like the copyright system and everything. I spent so long. No, but I want to try incorporating music in a certain way in the background. Like you said, it's a great idea. I'm just going to have to figure out how to do it well. And there's also the copyright issues. So I spent a long time downloading a crap ton of copyright-free music. And then I'm like going through it and deleting the crappy ones. And then I'm organizing it into different moods. I'm just going to keep doing that until I've got a bunch of good clips that I can just drag and drop into the background of the video. What I'm going to do is when I watch through the video, I'm going to be keeping track of like from 5 minutes to 8 minutes. It's we're laughing. So it's going to be, I'm going to say like laughing or funny.
He's just going to add laugh tracks.
And I'm just going to like keep organizing the different sections of the podcast, like from 12 minutes to 40 minutes. It's sad. And I'd write that. And then when I go back, I'm going to drag and drop the sad music, like make it really quiet in the background. So it helps set the mood. It helps keep the production quality up.
You're being serious, but honestly, all I can imagine is like
all around me are familiar faces.
No, I was thinking more like in the arms of an angel, fly away. And it's just sad dogs. That commercial, like, why you gotta do that? Like, I don't have space to adopt 20 dogs, but you immediately make me want to run to the shelter.
Try to make you all sad every time.
Just run in with my wallet. Just take it. Just give me the dogs. I love them. Don't put them in the cages on TV anymore.
Dude, we all know those cages, all the clips. Those were acting dogs that actually live in it well. You know, actual, like...
you don't get the top dog food if you don't act your chops off right now.
What's it called? Pounds? Is that what it's called? Where, like, all the stray dogs go?
Yeah, that's one word for it. Pound.
Yeah.
The pound.
Yeah, they're not actually going to let you record all the crap from Pounds to do it.
Yeah. Well, no.
So, obviously, those are all acting dogs.
No, some of those are clips taken from when they go and rescue animals. So occasionally, like, people will be called because it's like, hey, we got dogs in cages. This is a backyard breeder, and these are, like, terrible conditions. These dogs are sick and rail thin, so they'll go in. That used to be, I don't know what TV show it was, but they used to bust people for that. They do it with everything, though, not just dogs, but horses, too. That was the sad one. So horses, majestic. It's the symbol of, like, the cowboy, but it's also the symbol of like being free. You see a horse, you're like majestic, free, you just awesome animal. And to see one of them like rail thin, their ribs just dying from starvation, that kills you. Anyone who abuses animals, I hate you, and I just want you to know that.
And the male seahorses, they're the ones that carry the babies.
I was talking about real horses, not seahorses.
I thought you said seahorses.
Did I say seahorses?
I heard seahorse. I'm
running on like
deaf.
2 hours of sleep.
Wait, 2 hours?
Yeah.
What time do you go to bed?
I kind of didn't. I don't.
What time do you usually go to bed? You should have a set bedtime that you go to. It's really good for
I
you.
try to go to bed around like 9 or 10 when I work those early morning janitor shifts and stuff like that. But that's when I go up to my room and lay in my bed and turn all the lights off. Generally, though, I have sleeping issues occasionally, so some nights I just won't sleep. And then when I walk in and you guys are like, hey, I'm like, hey, and you're like, hey, you happy? You having a good day? Sleep well? I'm like, no, I didn't sleep at all.
I guess the key to Lane's happiness is lack of sleep. You're that mixed up that you're just complete opposite of everybody else. When I don't get enough sleep, I'm all grumpy. When you don't get enough sleep, you're like, yeah, living life.
So you're seeing like happiness. What you're not realizing, it's like, yeah, I want to jump off a bridge. Let's do it.
You're excited to jump off the bridge. That's what it is.
I'm excited for anything. Hopefully, maybe it's a good day. Maybe I make a lot of money. Maybe I get hit by a car. Who knows? Toss up. I'm down for either. It's like the joke where I need to get taken out. It's like on a date or like what? Like sniper, date, either or. It's fine.
You know how people are like on dates and they have a friend to back them up? Like they're going to go to the bathroom. They're going to say, call me in 5 minutes. Say, there's an avalanche in my backyard.
I'm not a woman.
Your plan,
so I don't have that, but yeah.
Your plan is, here, I'm going to go to the bathroom and you're up on balcony 12 balcony 12. What the heck? You're up on floor 12 in the building next to us. In 5 minutes, shoot me in the head.
It's like, all right, that's 5 minutes. If I don't get the call that it's going well.
He's
like,
pulling up one of his guns.
It's like, if I don't hear anything. Just like, all right, time to take him out.
Take the shot.
Anyways, yeah, no. But no.
Yeah,
Anyways,
no.
Yeah, no. It's one of my speech things. It's like British people always being like, hello, mate. And they don't talk like that. But
hello, mate.
it's not hello. It's hello.
Hello.
Hello, mate.
Shalom.
Or am I Australian? I don't even know.
Wallaby.
Wallaby.
Didgeridoo. Kangaroo. Drop bear.
Crocky.
Yeah, nah. Yeah,
nah,
nah, it's actually.
mate.
Yeah, nah.
My
But
country
anyways.
of origin is turned. It's actually Australia where I'm from. Anyways.
If I'm going to make those shirts eventually, I should do like the American version. Yeah, no, but anyways. Or yes, no, but anyways. And then Australian, I'm going to like flip it upside down and I'm going to say, yeah, nah, but anyways.
Back to what we were talking about a little bit before with the how you want to add music to your videos and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if podcast doesn't work out and you want to do more centered things, I think you should go with the same strategy like a YouTube channel called Fact Fiend with Carl Smallwood.
I'll look it up right now.
Dude, it's great. So it's two people, and it's one recording and one who writes articles about like it. Everything sounds like a clickbait ad, and it's one of the best things ever because everything he says is true, and the clickbait ad thing is never clickbait.
Oh, whoops. Sorry, a video started playing immediately.
No, I don't get copy striked by them. Actually,
Yeah.
Fun fact, they've gotten copyright claimed a lot. One of the ones that annoyed them the most was with Terminator, because he was doing commentary on it, and so the point was you watch the Terminator movie while listening to his commentary, and it syncs up. The problem is the people who now own, or not Terminator, I'm so sorry, RoboCop.
That's a big difference, Lane.
Yeah, I know. So the people that now own RoboCop got like annoyed and copyright claimed it, and he's like, "Wow, that's great, thanks." But he does it with Brad. Oh, I can't remember his name. I'm not stupid. I just get camera shy and nervous. So just know that. Like off camera.
Even like at work, you're tripping over your words, man.
No, I know, but like not being able to think of something, it's purely because I'm on camera and this is being recorded.
You'll get used to it eventually. My first episode, I was way off, and then
I'll get used to the camera.
Justice, I was
Is that what you tell
less
yourself?
so.
I'll get used to the camera eventually.
I'll get used to the camera. Okay, it's fine.
All right, take 3.
I was gonna try to like make a joke about being like a nude streamer or something. I just couldn't think of it on the spot. I'll get used to the camera. They'll get fine with seeing my hairy balls.
So we got like e-girls. Is there e-boys?
Yeah, there's e-boys.
you gotta imagine they gotta be like some really like buff, ripped dude. So it's like,
Nope.
it's gotta be the same as an e-girl where it's like, oh my gosh, I love playing God of War, and they're holding a Wii remote. So then it's the same thing with a guy like, man, I love Mario Kart, and he's holding a PS4, but he's like really buff, and like there's just like this little thing covering his crotch, but he's sitting there like, man, I love video games. I love playing as Mario, holding an Xbox controller. He's like, Yahoo. Anyway.
Yahoo.
The opposite of like cat girl makeup or whatever.
That's Mario's
girls.
older brother. None of us ever talk about the actual masculine one.
The
one that's a bodybuilder, not
Mario,
a plumber.
Luigi,
He never has.
and then
He never has an issue beating up a fucking turtle.
We don't mean like a Goomba. Like he just walks up to like, or Goombas aren't the turtles. But
Goombas are the little mushroom guys. The
Yeah.
Koopas are turtles.
Koopa, he has no problem. But like you think, oh yeah, no, that's okay. No, he walks up to a random turtle, just starts beating it up. He's like, tell me where Bowser is, and the turtle's just like,
Where is your master? I'm gonna look up the turtle breathing meme.
Turtles, dude, the noises turtles make is amazing. Generally, when back when Vine was a thing and memes were just starting out, I had best friends that we stuff all the time, so we'd send stuff back and forth. And in my group of friends, this video was sent around.
Where's Bowser? Where is he?
I apologize for people that can't see video. Just search it up.
This isn't even video. It's just a little button I press.
Oh no. So search.
You walk up to the buff Mario. Yahoo walks up to the turtle. Where is he?
Yahoo.
Tell me.
This makes me so uncomfortable. I haven't heard this in years. As a kid, it was funny. Now it's just like, I swear to God, it's a real turtle.
That's a turtle.
It's a turtle,
Yeah.
I promise. Because with the internet, you don't know anymore.
Very true.
So yeah, that's an old video of a turtle trying to like mate with a shoe, and
With
he's
a shoe.
having the
turtle's
time of
humping
his.
that shoe. His mouth's open the whole time.
He's having the time of his life. You can tell. But we just used to send that back and forth to each other. I got in an argument one time and just sent that to him. Like, what the fuck? And I was like, I don't know. You're just so angry right now. You just need to watch a turtle hump a shoe.
Was it with a girl? You said, oh my gosh. Looking back, this is a pretty dick move.
What did you do? What did you do, Noah?
With my ex, after we broke up, I'm not going to go super into detail because, that's her business. But basically,
here's the whole story.
she wanted to get back together, and I was like, no. And after a lot of talking and back and forth and everything, she was like getting mad at me. And I said,
oh, no.
I sent her
You
an
didn't.
8-ball pool link. Like, let's play 8-ball pool.
That's not where I thought you were going with it.
It was
That's
so funny. She was like getting mad at me and like listing off reasons
Let's
why
play
she
a
was
game
mad
of
at me.
pool.
And she had plenty of rights to be mad at me. But in the moment, I just sent her a link of 8-ball pool.
Did she start the game?
No, she didn't start the game. She's like, I don't want to play games right now. And
I ain't playing these games. Hard stop, Lucas.
I
We
ain't
miss you.
playing these games.
What? No, that's not how he says it.
I don't know. I don't know who it was. I just did a little.
Hard stop, Lucas.
Hard stop, Lucas. I ain't playing these games.
I
I'll
ain't
look up
playing
that
these
soundbite.
games. It's the same. Okay. But it's the same guy where it's like, and Marcus buys 18 bottles of soap. Why does he got so much soap? Why are you asking questions? Mind your business. I miss him. He's probably on a like YouTube or something like that. It's same with Marlon Webb. I thought they were
Been
going.
drinking again? I don't even drink, so don't come in
Is
here with
this
all
it?
that. Then whose water is this? I need water to survive. You know we don't drink in this house. Hey, where did you put the plunger? Who the hell are you? I live here. No.
Oh, this is the
Just
guy
let
that's
it
always
play.
screaming. His whole thing is screaming.
I ain't playing these games.
I ain't playing these games. Yeah,
And he showed
know.
up in a random video. It was like an old man, and like he drops his cane and he does a backflip and picks it up in the same move, and then like it just like bloop, hard stop Lucas because he was sitting on a bench, and he has the same look he does in his like old vines where he's just like,
Oh, he does the sideway head.
just like not fully, but you see him go like the hell,
The hell, but that's how.
like some ownage prank calls. There's a lot of stuff like I get. I'm starting to get old. I can tell because like I look
Oh
back
yeah,
on
you're
older things.
terribly old, Lane.
I'm 21. I'm very old.
21.
I'm
Why'd you
going-
do a Bane voice?
This is my old man voice.
I was born in the dark,
Hello, Batman.
molded by it.
You simply adopted it.
Do
Hello,
the
Batman.
break your spirits one.
I love that scene, by the way. I was wondering what would break first.
Keep it up.
I can't do it.
Keep it up. I was wondering what would break first, your spirits or your body. Now for the body.
Now for your body. And he just breaks his spine. I love that scene. But not that scene, but when the doctor fixes it, because it's like, all right, this man has had his back broken. His spine is out of alignment. How do you fix this? Well, we're going to hang him from the ceiling and punch him in the back. That'll work. And granted, it does, but still.
As someone who's had back problems for a while, I've got tall people back problems. Like my fifth vertebrae up from the bottom is twisted to the left.
I have back
and
problems. I carry my team a lot.
I just
I
Good
don't.
one.
I suck. Don't play video games.
That is
with
not
me.
how you fix a back, man. For those who
No.
have back, neck problems, like joint problems, anything, go to the chiropractor. They really do help.
Seriously, you go in, snap, crackle, pop. You come out, you can suddenly
You go in, you get
move.
the Rice Krispies
You-
effects,
you
and now
can
you can
breathe
do
in.
limbo.
Yeah, and then yeah. Oh yeah, I was in a YouTube video.
YouTube video?
It was this guy was live streaming Green Skull or whatever. He does Halo videos. I think that's the right username.
Mhm.
And like one of his like he was live, and I was like, all right. So I was playing video games. Pulled it up. And he was like, yeah, just send a message saying freeze if you want to join, because he was doing Halo, and I was like, this is my chance. This is my moment. And then I sent him the message, and then like it turns out his inbox wasn't working. So it was a good like 5-10 minutes later, and then finally I got accepted to join, and I was like, yay! And I helped the team. Like in no
Yay!
way. I froze like 2 people, and that was about it. But for like
Oh, you were
5
playing May?
seconds, we were playing Halo.
Oh, you froze 2 people?
Okay, so there was a playlist where you were using Covenant.
I'm a PlayStation guy. I don't play Halo.
Yeah, well, see, with Halo, it's like one of the best game series up to, some people think 4 is when it died. I think 5 is when it died.
I think 5's when it dies. Because 4, you were
It was
still allowed
fun.
to play with people multiplayer, right?
So-
Local.
Yeah, you could do.
Yeah, 5 cut that out. Couldn't do that
Yeah,
in 5.
they totally alienated their audience with that. They also kind of forgotten who Master Chief was. Legitimately.
Which is the
Yeah,
whole reason
search-
people play.
So, again, Fact Fiend, search up. They didn't even know who Master Chief was, or they didn't know who the main character of Halo was. That's a video he does. This is just a general sponsorship. Just watch Fact Fiend. It's great.
Fact Fiend, they didn't know. So the creators of Halo 5 didn't know who Halo's main character was. Fact Fiend.
Yeah.
Click
How
on
many
it.
hours have you clocked on Halo?
Too fucking many, mate. We can talk about it at the end.
He's wearing a
I've played
Hogwarts shirt.
Way too much Halo.
He's great. All right, let's not get copyright claimed.
The Halo series
Well, I'll include the video of what we just watched, and maybe if I remember a link to the video if you want to go check it out.
Yeah.
But again, YouTube's like, oh, you can't play other people's videos. And I get why, but
You're
damn.
gonna get beat up one of these days.
I don't care,
doing
man.
that voice, and I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see them beating you up, and I'm gonna be like, I know he deserves it. I saw nothing.
I didn't see anything. I don't know
He
what
does
you're
that
talking
voice
about.
too much. He doesn't mean any ill will by it. He just does it all the time.
I'm not trying to be mean.
He's not trying to be offensive, but when he gets beat up by a bunch of dudes that are special ed, I'm not gonna even question it.
They're going to be over me. Kick him while he's down.
You're going to hell. I am too, but
yeah.
I think laughing makes me an accomplice. Yeah.
Do you want to swing over back to the apocalypse?
Yeah, no, I was trying to make my way back there. So anyways, if you ever get bored of doing the podcast and you want a more centered video, I think you should follow that format of Fact Feed because they're very good. They'll talk about a certain subject. They'll edit in clips and or photos. Again, it's Carl Smallwood and Brad. I can't remember his last name. I feel so bad. I know it all the time. I just don't know when I'm on camera. Or he'll do it with his other friend who I don't know her name. So he has a couple people who he'll have behind the camera and whatever. Which is really, it's great commentary. They bust out facts. One of my favorite ones is the one where they do they talk about 300, the Spartans, and the fact that the quotes are actually way more cooler in real life than they were.
Is Sparta. That's all I know about the entire movie.
So most of the quotes taken from that movie, like the epic ones, those are real quotes taken from the actual Spartans, except they're way cooler in reality. Like the movie.
You think the Spartans spoke English?
Yeah, obviously. Everyone speaks
Everyone
English.
speaks English.
All the TV shows and movies I watch when they're in a different country, they all speak English.
Everyone speaks English.
I watch anime and they speak English. What do you mean? There is only American. We don't have these fake made up languages like Mexican and like Japanese.
This is Sparta!
You're legally obligated to kick someone when you play that, though. You just ruined it.
You have to kick somebody when you what? What's that come from?
If you play that, you have to kick somebody.
Where did that come from?
That's just everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that, of course.
Yeah, no. If you play that
Clearly,
sound clip,
I'm a nobody because I don't know.
You gotta kick somebody or something.
What is this, dude? This soundbite? Okay, this might be your rape. What the heck? I just saw an anime girl, and I was like, "What?"
No, dude. I'm gonna distract from the conversation one more time. I need you, Noah, to search up something because I need you to react to it. Hold on, let me find it really quick.
It's me, Mario.
It's me, Luigi.
Luigi.
What would their third brother be? Like his name?
Have you heard Duke Skeleton?
Hold on, go to YouTube, or you're on YouTube. I know. Rattle 6 dude. Rattle me bones. Yeah.
What am I looking up on YouTube?
Search monsters versus aliens. Guggen Gan. Just Goog.
How many hours have you clocked on Halo?
Monsters versus aliens. Guggengan.
Guggen or Goog, like Googingan. Guggen. I need you to react to this.
Guggen. Monsters vs. Aliens review. Show review. What's the name? Monsters vs. Aliens.
Goog.
Yeah.
Ingan. And then it'll be like a
Guggengan?
Guggen. I don't know how to say it.
Guggengan.
Guggengan. Yeah. Okay.
You're way off, man. Monsters vs. Aliens, Guggengan.
Please, just leave me alone. No!
Shut her in the ass. It's a huge dress. What was that?
I don't know. It's a random sound bit.
Oh my gosh.
But every now and then I'll just stare across at my brother and just
I'm playing that again. Monster vs. Aliens, they shoot a dart into the giant girl's ass. When she picks it up, she throws it and hits somebody's shoe.
She hits someone's shoe. She takes the giant needle that was just fired into her ass and throws it into his dude's foot.
Okay then.
Just take a minute out of your day, people that are watching, and search that.
No, I'll include the video. I'll include the video.
All right. So we talked about that. Back back to the windmills, what I was talking about. The general idea is we got wealth
You're
and
swinging
money
all
here.
the way back to the windmill.
Oh,
All right.
no, we're moving back to the apocalypse.
Okay.
We branch off topics, and I'm gonna wrap back around to it. We have a lot of money, so it wouldn't hurt to send some basic, not like 30-foot ones, but just basic windmills and stuff like that. It wouldn't hurt to help them dig more wells. I just think, it'd be nice. We can help other countries. Or in general, we have United Nations, and, we need to stop having third world countries when we're sitting here complaining about, bad service on our phone that someone from another country's probably never even seen.
Mm-hmm.
We should be helping those in need.
There was a comedian that did a bit on that, and this was one of his like best bits.
I probably heard it too.
It was him bashing on like people in Africa, and I won't do it any justice, but it's like, why is there so much pity for these people in Africa? They should move to where the land is. We have deserts in America too. We just don't fucking live in them. And that's like his whole bit, like bashing on people in Africa. Obviously, he understands they've got, financial issues. They don't have
many issues
we
don't even understand.
the resources to get out of that, but it's a pretty fucking funny bit.
Yeah,
honestly.
like we don't understand. Like in certain places, obviously, if you think of another country, you're probably gonna think of a basic, like whatever. Like up in like Afghanistan, the Middle East, you think desert, hot, mud huts.
Mm.
That's not how it is. They have mountains, they have snow. You don't know. Every place has its own little areas. Like, and Africa, it's not just all like desert and like no water. There's stuff going on there. You're always gonna have a weird. That's why people should travel more. You're always gonna have a basic idea of what a place is, and you're wrong. Like America, just think of how different one place from another can be.
Very true.
We got so many different climates here.
I mean, we're a
Different
huge
animals.
country, dude. We're a huge country.
I mean, it goes from a place
America
like here
being
where
North America.
we get like a lot of rain
USA.
here, and it's usually pretty cold. And then you go to the other side of America and like Florida, and it's like hot constantly, and like you can't go swimming. I mean, you can, but just like watch out for gators and like poisonous snakes. And then over here, it's like, well, Eastern Washington, we got to watch out for diamondbacks. But other than that, we're pretty good. That's a dagger I picked up. He is holding a dagger right now. It's from Pakistan. It's
Picked it up in Pakistan. You were in Pakistan.
Yeah, I went to Pakistan to get it. Yeah, one like all the way there for a single. No.
Just the knife.
No.
You got the knife, and you head back.
Yeah, that's how I buy my weapons. I spend like $400 on a round trip ticket, go and buy the weapon, and come back through customs with it.
Yeah. He carries it like in his ass.
Yeah. That's a big knife. I'd die. It's like a 6-inch blade, minus the handle. Anyways, it's a double-sided one. And
You're used to that, right?
I'm
6 inches? 6 inches in your ass.
No, but your girlfriend is.
In my asshole.
What was that noise?
Was that this? Making that noise? My throat didn't make that noise.
There was like a whir. It almost
Was
sounded
it
like a record scratch. I don't know what you did. It was funny, though.
I don't know. Whatever that noise was.
Yeah, no, and it's most like it's a bone. It's got a bone handle mixed with bronze metal, and it's got a nice crossguard. And it's bone, which I have a couple knives I've gotten from different parts of the world. Like Pakistan, I have a couple that have been, the bone is usually camel bone, which is cool. So that's what that probably is. It's a nice blade. It's a dagger I picked up.
Let's go back to Metro, man. Let's talk about Metro.
Sorry, for those that are watching.
We went way off. That was a 38-minute tangent.
That was like 10 minutes to me. I have no concept of time. I was trying to bring it back. Yeah, no. Wrap all the way back around. Metro. So, like I was talking about, if you like the post-apocalyptic universes, you'd like Metro. Generally, most of it is spent either in Metro and underground system of railways and stuff like that. And so the basis for Metro, games and books, is that World War III happened. A bunch of nuclear weapons were dropped. And it takes place in Russia, Moscow. And when the bombs were dropped, everyone fled underground because they had areas that, like the metro system was built to withstand explosives deep underground. It could seal doors. And so that's how they rode out the apocalypse, is staying below ground. And this takes years. This takes place years after the bombs are dropped. And so you got mutants in this universe, which is cool, because some of them, they seem more accurate than other, you know, like where it's like, oh, a nuke went off and now we have mutants. In this one, it's more like a nuke went off and now we have a giant creature that flies around and it looks like a demon. No,
it's like a death claw from Fallout.
Imagine Deathclaw, but smaller, and with wings and a stubby face.
Okay.
They're really cool. They like, there's different theories about what the nuclear radiation
What should I look
evolved
up?
them from.
What's it called?
Oh, just a demon.
Metro Demon?
Yeah. They have a lot of cool animals in that universe, and generally they're all something you can see, oh, that evolved from this. Like, you have the librarians, which are two different theories. A, they're people that have managed to survive above ground, and B, they are apes that escaped.
It looks much more gargoyle-like.
Yeah. No, they're just big, hulking creatures. They walk on all fours, but they can also stand on two legs. They have giant wings. They are a beast.
It's an ugly thing. Ew.
Dude, it's scary, because all you'll hear is this, like, flapping noise. It's like, whoosh, behind you. Like, and then all of a sudden you'll get dive bombed, picked up off the ground, flown in the air, and then yeeted. Just thrown.
Yeet. This bitch empty.
Yeet! No, so you have to put up with those in the universe. They also have mutated moles and rats, which the rats, oh my goodness. They're like a weird mix of a rat and a wolf.
So they're like ROUSs, rodents of unusual size. They're big.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Watch the Princess Bride.
Great movie.
Yeah, the comedy is just awesome.
Mhm.
General good movie all around. But you can search them up if you want. They're ugly. But
What are they called
those
again?
things,
Metro Rats?
Metro Rats, yeah. Search that, or just search the monsters of Metro. Because I feel like you're just gonna get a picture of a
Yeah,
giant
I
rat
just got
from
the
New
video
York.
of the homeless guy sleeping on the bus and the rat crawls up on him. Metro game rat. Oh my gosh. They're humanoid.
They're scary, dude.
This one's kind of wolf-like.
Yeah,
what
no,
the hell is this thing?
And then you have the watchmen or the watchers, whatever, above ground, and they
like the big bald guys with the giant fists and arms? What the hell is this?
So there's like naked mole rats, there's rats, and then there's the watchmen or whatever, which they howl like, I don't know, dude.
Oh, these mole rats are fucking crazy. Is this like a Fallout type game but better? Because this looks awesome.
They're both, I don't know which came out first, the original Metro book or the first Fallout game. But they're both good titles. They both deal with the apocalypse. It's just one's more chapter based, or one is chapter based, whereas the other one's open world. With the latest one, it is both open world and chapter based. So you go to new areas and then eventually you move on to another one. So it's open world, but different segments to it.
This game looks awesome.
Dude, play it. It's fun.
You definitely recommend it?
I recommend it. If you, the only problem I have with the game is turning is slow. You can't turn up your sensitivity, so you just whip around in 360 no scope something. But it's a fun game. After we do this podcast, I'm gonna make Noah play the game. He's gonna play the intro.
Yeah, fine with me, man. This looks really
We'll
cool.
throw you
actually.
into the second one because that one opens up with you, with you just being in the crap immediately.
Mm-hmm. There's this image of this guy standing, and there's this like naked humanoid figure with giant arms that's like twice his size and bald.
Can you turn it so I can see? I can probably.
What's that called?
Oh, dude. So those.
I'll show the image on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube.
So they are a giant creature. They're very humanoid. And those, I can't remember which one's which, the Watchmen. But generally those guys, they show up in the, I'm not going to ruin the game for anyone, but they show up in the game. They don't talk, and they mess with people telepathically. Like, people just break down, start screaming. They see things. These things can go invisible. They can teleport.
They can go invisible and teleport?
Dude, they are insane.
Are they enemies of the game, or are they like just sort of
spend a good
anti-hero type things?
You spend a good portion running away from them and trying not to die.
Damn.
Also, the Metro universe is scary too. So, like, Fallout has aliens at different points. Like, there's Easter eggs to it. You get guns. Whereas Metro is more based on the apocalypse, the mutants, both like mutants, like those ones that can turn invisible, teleport, telepathically mess with you. But then it also deals with like spiritual stuff, like ghosts. There are ghosts in the game. You'll go through areas where all of a sudden you just start seeing a train and people screaming and all that. And there's parts of the games where you just have to stand still and just let stuff move by. So it's a very unique universe.
It's a giant spider monster. Metro Last Light video game artwork. Holy crap. And it's got like a scorpion tail.
Yeah, those things are annoying. So they're a mix of a spider and a scorpion. They're light sensitive and they're annoying. In the books and games, the theory on those ones, they don't actually know. So there's lore to Metro too. So like some of the tunnels are very deep. So the theory is that not everything was not given birth by the radiation. Ooh. The theory is some of the things actually came from deep underground, and that people moving into the subway tunnels and all that and going underground caused them to rise up.
There's some really cool monster concepts. I just looked up Metro game monsters, and there's a lot of these that are concepts.
You got 3 different games.
They're really
worth
cool
of ones.
There's this one that looks like the Ood from Doctor Who because it's got like the tentacle mouth. It's a concept. It's a
concept art. Yeah.
Here, I'll save it and show you on YouTube, and I'll show you right now, Lane. That looks pretty badass. Creepy, like lurking in the dark tunnels.
Yeah. No, the game is fun. But again, there's 3 different games. There's Metro 2033, Metro 2034, and then you have the Redux or whatever, which is where they remade both games, and then you have Metro Exodus, which is the latest one that came out, and that was the one that became more open world than the ones before, and it's fun. Playing through the game is like playing through a book, essentially. I liked it because you got character progression, because in the first one, you're more of playing as a pretty silent guy. The only time you hear him, generally, is his thoughts. You get them when, like, because before the chapter starts, there's, like, a diary entry. Mm-hmm. And also in the game, you can pick up audio logs and diary entries, and you can get a bigger idea. It's a fun universe. It's scary, though, because, like, whole little metro stations of people will be wiped out just that easily.
Like you'll see them get wiped out, or just you'll
come
see
up
the
on
after.
One at the end. Yeah, you come up on one where they're trying to protect a town, and you have to fight through multiple waves, and then these creatures jump down, and they can hit you with sonic blasts, which they scream really high pitched.
I know what sonic is.
So police have come out with these anti crowd guns. Things. Yeah, and they use high pitched sound, which causes people to be disoriented, throwing up, and it's essentially the same. Creatures have the same thing. They hit you with this centered, loud noise, and it disorients you, and at some point makes you pass out. It's really fun because you're like fighting off a wave, and you're trying not to die. And also,
that's like the intense version of date rape, man.
What the hell?
Sorry.
That's how it works, guys. You got to be careful. If they walk in with a megaphone,
instead of dousing
done.
The drink, you just take a sonic gun from the police.
No, they just scream at you. They're just...
That's how it sounds?
That's how I imagine. Well, any man who uses like a date rape joke, I imagine that's how they sound.
If she's listening, I hope you're listening. I was talking to a girl, I'll leave her anonymous, and
don't worry, he'll tell me your name later.
I told her to like make a monkey noise, and then she sent me a video, like a sound clip, And I was like, what the hell was that?
That's
You've
her
never
mating
heard
call.
a monkey in your life? It's
Yeah.
been a meme ever since.
Monkey,
Hey, mummer.
like, making monkey noises. That's generally like an O-shaped mouth. You got the.
That's
I'm
simple
thinking
as
more
that.
like gorilla.
Oh, like,
Yeah,
I mean,
gotta
I
get,
sounded
like,
like a gorilla
next to it.
fucking.
dude, gorillas are scary. They don't do any workouts. They're like pit bulls.
They're
They're
just
just born and they
massive.
just big,
Yeah. Well, their workout is just living their life.
trying to beat off another big dude who's trying to steal his pack, and you just gotta like.
Okay,
beat him
the
to
way
death.
you said that, Lane. The way you said that was trying to wank another gorilla.
What I mean is essentially.
Yeah, you get
trying-
these two massive male gorillas and you see them hunched over together.
I hate you.
This is a PG podcast.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, I don't think there's one podcast where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna show this to my family, because at one point or another it gets ruined, and I'm just like,
I think my first podcast you can do. Oh, with you specifically. Okay. Yeah. With I just talk openly with you, man.
the first one with your dad. No, and I'm fine with talking openly. It's just none of these. I can be like, hey, mom, dad, look at this. And then, like, it gets to a part where it's like, you're making fun of me, and I sound like I'm talking about jacking off a gorilla. And my parents are just like, we're worried about you, son. The weapon collecting was worrisome, but this is weird.
Oh, by the way, for those who listened to the previous podcast, we now have the Apache War Club. The Indian War Club.
The
Sorry.
Apache War Club.
We got the Indian War Club right here. He customized it a little bit and like put some rope up here and stuff.
After this,
Put
I'm
a
gonna,
paracord handle.
I'm gonna take the paracord handle off.
With the paracord, did you take out the interior?
No.
No. With one of my
You
blades,
can.
I
or
took
that's
out
what
the
top
interior
part is,
and it
not
helped.
the leather.
Yeah, this one right here.
Currently, for those aren't watching, it's a polypropylene War Club, and it's got wood grain texture to it. And I'm going to spray paint it brown to make it look like it's made of wood. One, because it looks cooler. Two, because I think that would like. I'm sorry for people that aren't watching video. No, it's just being weird. He's like
just being weird
showcasing
with
it,
it.
and then he's like, "All right, I'm sticking it in my
Time to
mouth."
suck it off. Dude, this is really cool. Yeah, when mine came in, by the way, you sent me that message. Haha, no, I got mine first. I got mine way earlier. It's just I didn't send a message bragging to you.
You didn't say
And-
anything, so I assumed, and I was like, "All right, well, time to show off."
And I got mine, and there's two types of this War Club. One comes with like the long spike. He's got the spike right here. Comes with the long spike, which in my mind kind of negates the purpose, because this is supposed to be like a blunt force thing. If you get the spike in,
And it's
then you're going to have to focus on getting the spike out.
Yeah, it's
And there's-
effective, but if you're fighting multiple things and you need a weapon, it'll get
You
stuck.
can just hit them all.
It's
Yeah.
the same problem with a baseball bat with nails. If there's a chance it'll get stuck. There's a chance the nails, depending on the size of them, will also bend and warp.
Yeah, those watching on YouTube, you can see this one has a long spike. There's also one with a short,
just a little stud.
a short stud. And that's the one I ordered and wanted, because then you can hit something and all the force is generated to that one point and it'll just bash through everything. Just a great blunt force weapon.
And it's metal, so you don't have to worry. It's,
yeah, exactly. But this one,
high grade.
it could get stuck in like a zombie skull or something.
So I might make a YouTube video eventually on that, because I couldn't figure out how to get that spike off. It screws on just like, a screw would. The downside is you try to take it off, you can't. The thing you need to do is you take a blowtorch and you heat up just the metal. Careful, because polypropylene, super hard, dense plastic, it won't rot or break, but it can be melted. So you carefully heat the spike, and what it is on the inside is Loctite or whatever, which is a type of glue. I think it uses plastic in it or whatever, but it essentially, when it bonds. It's not going to unscrew easily. You have to heat that up, and then you can unscrew it. But I searched over the internet, and I couldn't find any videos or anything like that. I messaged Cold Steel and was like, hey, how do you take the removable, because you say it in it, removable spike off of your War Club, your Indian War Club? And then they never replied. And I'm not necessarily an impatient person. I just have that weird tick where if I want to do something, fix something like that, I then need to do it, and waiting a ton of time with something I could easily do is annoying.
With removing the spike, you used a blowtorch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked up the melting point of polypropylene, and it's 320 degrees Fahrenheit, but blowtorches usually get about 1,430 degrees Celsius. So you need to be really careful because you will easily melt that polypropylene.
Took me 2 minutes, and literally all I saw was the surface of it start to get a little bit glossy, and I was like, all right, so.
Yeah, time to bail.
You're fine. Just heat the point first and move it down just slightly a little bit, and just waver the heat. Make sure it's spread throughout. Metal will heat up just fine, and then you can simply unscrew it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it takes. And then you can put the spike on and off by literally just screwing it on and off. I have it off because, like Noah was saying, if you were to use it, it's a hazard because it can get stuck. And if you're in a situation where you don't want your weapon getting stuck, that's a problem.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, no, spiked blunt weapons are okay. It's just you got to worry about losing it.
Mm-hmm. With mine, it came with a spike, so I returned it and then ordered a different one that hopefully doesn't come with a spike. But if it does come with a spike, I'm just going to take a grinder and grind it down.
Yeah, so my solution was to take the spike off altogether because
I still want that point of contact.
See, but I wanted that too, but I'm not going to A, send mine back, or B, order a new one and then grind off the point. I mean, I might do that.
So
for
now
those
you have
that
two.
know me, I'll collect multiple of weapons. Like, if I have a really good weapon and I lose it, or it starts to break down, I'll get another one. I have 2 knives. I had an ex who bought me...
Just 2 knives? I say that because his entire
you won't
life
let me
is
finish.
knives. You have 2 knives?
I have 2 knives, one of which was given to me by an ex, and it is it was a Work Pro knife, and it was this curved point. It's amazing. I used it for throwing, cutting it. It was so sharp. Like, I went to wrap the handle to see if it would be better with a paracord handle, and I accidentally touched the point of the blade to myself and completely stabbed myself in the thigh. Like, it just glided in like butter, and I had this moment where I was like, wow, this is a really sharp knife. I'm really I'm bleeding out.
Is it one of the folding pocket utility knives?
No, it is a fixed blade.
Okay, Work Pro knife, fixed blade.
It also came with a tomahawk, or throwing tomahawk, a small one, slightly curved, and that one has a point, so you can like push at people with it, and it'll cut, and then you could swing. So like you could get some combos in there.
Is it this?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll include the image.
Yeah, I approve of that knife set. The tomahawk's okay, but that knife is golden. Anyways, but I used it a lot, and the knife handle started to get loose.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought another one because I was like, I don't want to. That was not a no. It was a I didn't want to.
Don't you know?
It was a gift, and if I get given a gift weapon, I use them, but I don't use them to the point that they break. So that one started to get loose, and I was like, all right, I'm going to put this one away. I'm going to buy one that I can dink around with and throw. But yeah, they're a pretty good knife to throw. Yeah, they're just well balanced, really good steel, really sharp. I stabbed myself in the thigh. It was just hilarious because I was just like trying
You're
to wrap
always
it.
cutting yourself up, man.
Not really. In the last 2 years, I can count the amount of times on one hand that I've cut myself. There was like, no, I'm just kidding. It's a dumb joke. Anyways, in the last 2 years, I've probably cut myself 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't happen a lot. It's
Live and learn. Previously, you cut yourself all the time, didn't you?
Yeah, I've cut myself pretty bad. I almost messed up 2 fingers pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
But that was when I was practicing with the tomahawk, and I've gotten good at.
And you had that time you cheese grated your.
That was not a knife.
That wasn't a knife, but you still cut yourself.
So non-knife cuts, yeah, I've had a ton. I've fallen a lot, gotten back up, all that fun stuff. But I haven't cut myself in a long time with a blade on accident. Just in the early days when I used to spin tomahawks and stuff like that. Pretty good now. The last one I did was I was showing one of my friends how to work a butterfly knife well. And then I was like, all right,
And
I'm
then
going to
you cut
show off
yourself.
now. And then I split the top part of my hand open because when I spun the blade and brought it back, the point is the dull edge of the blade is always supposed to be in contact with your hand. That's the one that makes contact, not the sharp edge. Because I was spinning it, catching it, and flipping it over my hand, I messed up which of the swinging arms I was grabbing. So I grabbed the wrong one, flicked it back, flicked it forward into place, and I was like, haha, I cut myself. And they
Great
laughed.
tutorial.
They
for the
laughed.
person trying to learn.
And I was like, yeah, no, seriously. And then I needed a Band-Aid, and then I bled for a long time. It was fun.
With Metro, I looked up I cut straight back to Metro right there. I looked up the release dates, and it goes Metro 2033, March 16th, 2010. Metro Last Light, May 14th, 2013. Metro Last Light Redux, 26th August. And then just more coming out, and then Metro Exodus came out February 15th, 2019. So Metro Exodus is really new. Does this one still not allow you to change your sensitivity? Metro Exodus?
Through the settings, I've not been able to do it. So my problem is you can't turn really fast, and especially after jumping into VR, it's really annoying. Because in VR, not only can you turn,
you have
like
it in
you do
VR?
real life. No. I'm just talking.
Oh, you're just talking about the contrast.
in general settings.
VR is you turn however fast you want. Yeah,
VR
okay.
ruins normal video games for you for the most part, because when you can play with your full body, when you can have your full range of motion, when you can turn,
You
as
like
fast
playing
as
with your
you
full
can,
body lane?
Yeah, all the time.
You just admitted to having a
Definitely.
foot fetish.
Full body, man.
I like it all. I don't discriminate.
No, it's not. I like it all. It's I want it all.
I want it all.
I want it all. Hey, I
want it all.
and I want it now. We miss Queen. I mean, Freddie Mercury, not Queen. I mean,
Queen's still alive and kicking.
yeah, they're with
The Grudge?
No, I can't remember. I'm having a brain fart. No, they're doing songs with what's that one guy's name?
Has he replaced the main singer? I can just look up who is Queen's.
So I got my boots on, got the right amount of leather. I can remember the name in my head. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Is it Adam Mitchell Lambert?
Adam Lambert?
Yeah, Adam Lambert, born January 29th, 1989, is an American singer, songwriter, and actor.
All you had to say was the name. He was born in Michigan, and no, he wasn't.
I'll include an image.
Yeah, he's currently working with Queen. I'm just saying, Queen, every song after Freddie Mercury passed away,
Didn't live up.
I have not listened. I don't care. It's just Freddie Mercury was the fire that was
He was
Queen.
the one.
He was Queen, and without him, it's just not the same.
He had the extra teeth in his mouth, so he had
Yeah.
better singing. It was insane.
Well, that was his fear. No, his fear was he had the extra teeth, which meant his mouth was like longer or whatever. So he had that bigger range, and he was afraid that if he fixed his teeth, got them removed, he wouldn't sing the same.
Oh, he guarantee wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That man was so ballsy. The stories with Queen, the fact that
He was ballsy for balls, too.
and he was gay. He was very gay. And it was funny because he was gay at like the top of his game.
Mhm.
So what were they going to do? It's like, if back then, if someone came out as gay when they first started, they wouldn't have been heard from. But at the height of his power, same with Elton John. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Be gay at the height of your power. What are they going to do? They're going to still listen.
Nothing.
They
Yeah.
can't do anything. At that point, you're like, I'm super rich and gay. What are you going to do?
Have you seen The World's Strongest Gay?
The claim to fame. I am the strongest gay man.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a power lifter, and his whole thing is World's Strongest Gay. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and it was hilarious.
That's such a weird thought process, though. It's like, I'm the world's strong. Like, you don't know.
It's,
What if the world's strongest man is gay, but he doesn't say he's gay? Because
Rob
he doesn't need
Kearney or something like that. Rob Kearney?
that. I mean, you fly your freak flag proud. All I'm saying is,
Dude's huge.
Yeah, no, he could probably like smack me and I'd die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you guys ever want to take a moment to just be like, damn, search up those like slap fights. Or not slap fights, but it's a slapping contest with like really big dudes and they just slap each other. And the person that wins is the person that doesn't get knocked out by a slap.
Those slapping
And
contests.
fun fact.
They're getting really big.
Yeah. Fun fact, slapping hurts more because so like getting punched hurts and can break bones, but when you slap someone, the reason it knocks them out is one, you're hitting them in the jaw. Two, you're just a lot more speed and force. Like a fist really does hurt, but a slap, it's just so fast. And you hit someone in the jaw and that can just knock them out.
Yeah, that big guy, he's one of those, well, he's basically a strongman. I don't know who it is.
They're insanely manly
But
though.
he's just a huge man, big beard. He's got like a big belly and everything. He's just big everything. And he just slaps people. And with a slap, he knocks them out and they drop down.
Yeah, you gotta watch this. So they like stand on either side of like a table. One guy will hold the table or put his hands on it, and the other guy, like arm like straight out, will bring it lightly to the side of his face, bring it back, and he'll just whack. And he hits him so hard. And the whole point of the game is the person that gets like it's the old version of like it's just like like playing tennis, the one where you hit each other's hands or bloody knuckles. It's literally until the other person gives up. But in this case, it's getting knocked out by a 350-pound muscular man. Like they don't play.
Yeah, the guy
It's a
that
manly sport.
guy
Not
that
because they
keeps
slap
winning.
each other, but because like I would die if I
they
got
even use
slapped.
chalk. They're even using chalk.
Got to get that good hit in, you know? You don't want that, like, wet hit. You just, like, dry hand. Whack.
don't want
And
it
when you
moist.
smack him, he just knocks out. Okay. Back to
Gotta be
topic.
dry. Can't be wet and juicy.
I hate you. I don't know why you're so weird. You just
Because
ruined-
I was born this way. I'm on the right track. Maybe I was born this way. Hey.
Okay, anyways, back to Metro, because I don't even know how we got off topic. It's a very fun universe.
Get used to it.
Again, there's 3 games in the series. I think there's 4 books. There might be 3 to 4 books. I know one's based off in America. Currently, I'm playing through the Exodus DLC. I tried the Tale of Two Colonels, but I got really tired of running around getting chased, and then having to flame everything with a flamethrower. Meanwhile, trying not to get eaten by the giant worms, because that's fun. And if you don't play the games, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But there's one point where you relive the memories of another person, and you have to burn down this sludge that keeps being built up. The problem is there's worms in it, but some of them are gigantic, and it's like a giant worm leech that then tries to eat you, and you have to use a flamethrower.
Damn. It's got like little legs too.
Which one? Show me.
It's a giant worm. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. Hold on. There we go. It's that giant worm thing. It's got little legs.
That's one of them. Which is terrifying. Especially because you get a scene
That
where
is
one of
terrifying.
them
Looks
eats like
gross.
the mole creatures of the Watchmen or whatever. So I switched to Sam's journey, which is one of the characters in Metro. He's like, well, this has been fun, but I'm American, and I'm going to go try to find my family now that I know that I won't die being on the surface for 5 seconds.
They
So
look
that's the
like
one I'm
giant
currently on.
caterpillars.
Dude, they're terrifying in the game. In that one particularly, because one, you have to ignite the flamethrower. You can keep it ignited, but it takes a second for it to kick on, and they just come out of nowhere, and they just like, "Brr," and you're just like, ah, and then you want to flame them, and then you're having flashbacks to watching The Thing. Essentially, if you're a bit squeamish, it's one of those missions where you're like, kill everything with fire. And you get that too with the scorpion spiders. I can't remember what their names are.
Mhm.
But the thing about them is they hate light. They can't stand it. It'll kill them. So in that, you constantly have to recharge your light because you have this little charger for it. And you have to get your light on them, which will cause them to back up and eventually roll over on their side because they're being burned by the light. They're that light. They can't be in light because it burns them that bad. And so you'll get into these tunnels where there's spider webs everywhere. You have to set things on fire with your lighter. And then you have to keep that flashlight on them. But the thing is, some will come behind you. So you're constantly turning around, trying to keep a flashlight on one of them long enough. They'll flip onto their back to avoid the light. And then you can shoot them or walk up and stab them with a knife. And then while doing that, you have to make sure that your flashlight is charged. And the whole time you're like, I didn't have enough Molotov cocktails for this. Those missions just crazy. And if you have arachnophobia, I apologize. Terrifying.
Yeah, don't play it then. Definitely don't
play
it.
the game. If you have a fear of something, embrace the fear, but fight the fear at the same time. It was like when I was a kid, I was afraid of the dark, and I got tired of being afraid, so I just turned off all the lights, shut the door, and sat there. And you realize you're not afraid of the dark. Not really. Maybe you're afraid of not being able to see, but you're more afraid of what might be in the dark with you. But if there was something in the dark, then you would be more afraid. Anyways,
well, yeah.
Face your fear. If you got a fear of heights, go bungee jumping, go skydiving, climb some stuff. If you got a fear of like spiders, handle spiders. Not dangerous ones, obviously, but like tarantulas. Generally, tarantulas won't mess with you. They're more scared of you than they are of them, and they're less likely to bite you. More or less, they're probably going to shed some hairs, which their hairs are tiny and needle-like, and they go into your hands and they cause irritation. And that's a self-defense mechanism.
Do you know what trypophobia is?
Spiders? What?
It's like when stuff like that just freaks you out and it makes you feel gross and your skin crawl. I have that, and it's really
a frog
hard.
That you would hate seeing.
Yes, I know the frog.
Trypophobia. It's a fear of holes, but like multiple holes, like honeycombed or whatever. But it's in your skin, and that's what you're not afraid of.
Ugh.
What you're afraid of is more or less parasites at that point.
No, it's even like
when I see that, I see parasites. That's my thing.
Here, I'll look up trypophobia definition to show the people.
All right, we all have
I
fears.
want to see some images. Trypophobia. What is trypophobia? Skin disease? No. Trypophobia. Define. Oh. Trypophobia is an aversion to the sight of irregular patterns or clusters of small holes or bump. It is not officially recognized as a mental disorder, but may be diagnosed as a specific phobia if excessive fear and distress occur. People may express only disgust to trypophobic imagery. That's me. It's for me, it's like if I see a plant with a bunch of holes, it doesn't really bother me. But if it's on skin, if it's on skin, if it's like a biological thing, because it just it grosses me out and my skin crawls and I get itchy.
The reason
I don't want to see it.
Are afraid of it is kind of it looks like you either have A, parasites, or B, a disease. It looks like you're disease ridden. And that's a legitimate fear. I don't fear that anymore though, because all the images you'll see are either A, plants, or badly photoshopped people. Like it's photoshopped. That's what you need to realize. When you see that, the images of stuff like that, it is completely 100% Photoshop.
I know it's fake, man. It's just still grosses me out.
I want you to know. I didn't know.
Obviously.
If you knew that. I mean, you're a smart person, but maybe that's the one point where you're like, this person has holes in them.
No, it's obviously all grossed out.
I want you to know,
I don't like
Noah,
seeing it.
You have holes.
Thank you for supporting me, Lane. Take my hand. You support me. Thank you, Lane.
I have that with my hand.
Put on some fucking socks.
If you don't know, we constantly make jokes, but the running joke is like, it's not gay if you have socks on. And then the first podcast we did, we were just making jokes. And then what he didn't realize is I wasn't wearing socks. So I'm
wearing socks and shoes.
You can call no homo, but it's only if you're wearing socks. If you have socks on, not gay.
It ain't gay. It ain't gay. Good try. It ain't gay.
I came across a bunch of memes, and they were Bert and Ernie memes, and they were the ones where they like take an image. It was just like Sesame Street.
Bert and Ernie. Okay.
It was hilarious. It's like, well, I'm not showing anyone I care about this. I'm not showing anyone that'll be like, wow, that's not funny because good Christian values. But it was like he was like, man, it was like Bert was really upset that Ernie kept doing his "Pray the Gay Away" speech after their making love sessions. Like I'll just pull it up really quick.
I can pull it up. What do I look up?
It's
Bert and Ernie pray the gay way. Is that what I look up? What do I look up?
You can try that. For what you find, you can't blame me if it's like some weird Rule 34 crap.
Bert and Ernie pray the gay away. There's a thing on The Late Show. Was that it? Or was it Bert and Ernie shocking gay video? I'll look that.
Well,
No.
that's why I'm wearing this blindfold. You see, I'm going to feel something with the skin on my hand. And then I'm going to
Is it this one?
No, but that sounds like it's going to get bad.
guess what that is without even looking. Now, watch this. Let me see. Oh, wait a second. There's something now. Gee, I wonder what this could be.
Ernie.
No, don't tell me, Bert. Don't tell me. This feels kind of soft and fluffy-like, and it's sticking straight up like a shaggy rug.
No, Ernie, you're touching.
No, don't tell me, Bert. Don't tell me. I want to guess this. Now, let's see. Moving down. Oh, wait, there's more. There's so much more. Look at this. And this kind of feels roundish, and it's sort of squishy-like. And it's
I
like
have
a
no
bath
idea what he's
sponge.
watching,
Yes,
but
yes.
I'm
He's
more
groping
for
his
this.
nose right now.
Let's see. Moving on down.
Oh, he's
wait, this is interesting. Look at this. And this part's kind of smooth, and it feels sort of thin, and wow, it's floppy. It's floppy like a garden hose. Gee, that's interesting.
What are you watching?
Dude. I'll show you the video on YouTube.
I don't want to watch.
He like felt his hair, and then he felt his nose, and then he moved his hand down off screen. And he's like, "Oh, it feels smooth," and he started going. I was like, "Holy crap!" Bert and Ernie getting it on.
Bert
Man.
wishes Ernie would stop trying to pray away the gay every night after they make love. That's the meme I was trying to
it's a
show
meme.
you. It's
Bert
that
wishes
type of
Ernie would
stuff.
stop trying to pray away the gay every night they make love. Show it to the camera.
Okay, I don't know how good this quality is going to be, but if you can see this on camera, if not, I'll send it to Noah. He'll edit it in. Because we're training him to be an editor.
Hopefully you can see it.
Why is my... Oh, it's the Xbox.
Yeah, your
It's still
Xbox went off.
on. Yeah. Also, meme review.
Meme review. PewDiePie's back. Have you been watching him?
No.
He's been back for like 2 days now.
I haven't watched PewDiePie in a long time, but there's a lot of YouTubers that I used to watch, but I don't watch anymore. Some of them because they changed, others because I just got tired of it. Like, when he was way back doing Happy Wheels and stuff, I was into that.
I hated the Happy Wheels videos. I liked the other videos. I hated the Happy Wheels videos, man. They were just annoying. It was just him screaming at the kid getting stabbed by a spike. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, but it was funny.
To each their own. That one wasn't for me. I didn't like watching those. Here, let's move on to a different apocalypse. What's this one right here? The one on the left you got? By Dashner?
Which one?
What's this series?
Yeah, that's the Maze Runner.
Oh, yeah,
So
Maze
that's-
Runner.
That's a different type of... That's more...
Good movie. First
it's-
movie I enjoyed. Second movie wasn't as good. Same with the book. Same with the books.
I was fine with it until the ending. Also, the prequel made me cry. Not like cry, but like on the inside, manly tears. I've cried at stuff, like beautiful sunsets.
I've cried before.
Walks on the beach.
Roman, don't cry.
Titanic, when Rose was selfish and let Jack drown.
That's fucking stupid. So stupid.
There was room. We know. Okay, I get the point that it wouldn't have supported their weight, but he wouldn't have been literally neck deep in water. Maybe he would have just been like, slightly wet on his legs, but they didn't even try. So instead, he literally froze to death. Like, he's all stiff-armed. Just, why?
Yeah.
I love how that whole story is literally...
Selfish bitch.
What happened what happened to the diamond? Well, it all started when I met this man. Damn, I got naked for him. I'm explaining this badly.
Yeah, you
But-
are. You
yeah.
definitely are.
On purpose. If you want to watch the Titanic, that's fine. I just think she was selfish. They didn't even try to both sit on it, and he froze to death for nothing.
For love. He froze to death.
They met like 3 days ago.
Yeah, exactly. And then, she probably moved on to, marry somebody else, get with somebody else eventually. And even though he literally killed himself for her. Do you hear that ringing noise? I just heard it.
Yeah.
I hope you can't hear it on the podcast, but it's driving me insane. So, moving on from the selfish bitch. The Maze Runner, it's really good. I enjoyed the first book. I enjoyed the movie. I didn't enjoy the second book or the second movie nearly as much. The first book is this guy. He's like, I'll just talk about the movie.
Are we going to spoil things?
No, let's not spoil this one. I'm just going to give the general premise. You're in this big maze, but in the center, there's this community of people that like every week or month or something like that, they drop a new person in. And it's a new teenager, and it's always been a guy. It's always been guys. And they drop him in, and they've been dropping him in. And one time, by the main character's perspective, he's put into this. And then they've got a community. They've got farm and everything in this little center of the maze.
But they don't remember anything.
They don't remember anything. Their mind is cut off.
They can only remember their names. Other than that, nothing.
They can just remember how to be humans, but they don't remember their memories. And from there on, the main guy, he becomes a runner.
Amnesia.
And he's running every day. The maze opens.
Let me know if you want me to take over.
Go ahead.
So the maze opens during the day, and every day they send out runners, which go out. They map out the maze because they're trying to find an exit. The problem is the maze is constantly changing and rearranging itself. It is a gigantic structure that's constantly shifting. So, as you can imagine, that makes it pretty impossible. But they don't stop because it's the only thing to do. They have farm animals and stuff like that. They have shelter, but they are stuck in the middle of the maze. And you'd think, all right, so why don't they climb over it? First off, the walls are huge.
Very
skyscraper tall. And anytime they send someone up there, it either A, hasn't worked, or B, they don't have enough materials. They could take all the wood and vines, and they can't make it up there. And then how they're delivered is they come up a gigantic elevator shaft, and you think, all right, well, why don't they take the elevator down? They've tried, and it won't go, and when it does, they try to then take someone and tie a rope and just lower them down into it, and they don't know exactly what happened. All they know is he went down there, and at some point, he yelled, and then they brought him back up, and he was cut in half. And so that's why they don't go down the hole, because obviously not a good idea. Now you think, all right, well, why don't they just, live and be happy in the maze? At night, also, they have grievers, which come out, which, depending, if you're watching the movie, they're giant creatures. I don't even know how to describe them.
They're faceless, but I think they have echolocation, and they can spit acid or something.
They're acid, no. They have a giant spiked scorpion-esque tail, and they're both mechanical.
I'm thinking of After Earth. My bad.
Yeah, you're fine. They have both mechanical parts and biological parts, so they're a mix of machine and whatever. In the books, they're more of a slug that rolls, and they're all spiked and stuff. They're scary. Both versions are scary. So, anyways, Thomas, the main character, he comes up, and no one can remember what they are. All they're doing is trying to find a way out of the maze at night. At night, the maze closes, which is good, which keeps them out. And at the same time, if anyone gets stuck stabbed by the grievers, they inject them with something. So in the books, in the movies, it makes them go crazy. In the books, it doesn't. It makes them go crazy, but they also see their past, so they can kind of see.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't pick up on that when I read it.
It takes away their amnesia a little bit, so they see stuff about their past. But it's fatal in the. I don't believe it's fatal in the books, but it is in the movies. So Thomas comes and he starts messing stuff up automatically, and then one night the maze doesn't shut, and so the grievers come and start murdering the people, and they're like, "We need to get out of here."
Yeah. Before that, though, Thomas was in the movie, he was the first one to survive a night in the maze and return.
And he also killed a griever.
Yeah, he killed a griever.
Quotation marks on killed. He had it chase him into a closing gap in the maze.
That's killing him.
He barely made it out, and it squashed the thing. So, I mean, he did technically kill it. Like, he didn't kill it with his bare hands, but he was like, hey, chase after me. And then he was like, I can make it. That whole movie gives you the same... It gives you claustrophobia because there's several moments where it's like, all right, he's going to get squished.
The walls are
between two
closing
walls.
and you're about to get squished up.
And it's constantly changing. It's a very good movie visually because you get a real aspect of why it doesn't work out. The maze is constantly moving and it's terrifyingly large. It's a great movie. Also, that actor, I can't remember, he plays Styles in Teen Wolf, and his name is...
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Just keep talking about it. I'll look up the name.
Anyways, he's an amazing actor since The Maze Runner, and since, especially in American Assassin, you cannot take him as a
Dylan
sidekick.
O'Brien.
Dylan O'Brien,
Good actor.
amazing actor. He always shows good emotion. And ever since seeing him in any other movie other than Teen Wolf, I really can't see him as a sidekick or, anything other than the main star. He's hilarious.
Yeah, they got a lot of good actors. Dylan O'Brien, Thomas Brody saying something. Will Poulter, very good actor.
His British accent kicks in.
Ki Hong Lee, very good actor. Same with Kaya Scoldelario.
In the third Maze Runner, one of my favorite scenes is when they're breaking out of the facility and what is his name? They go back for him.
I think it was Ki Hong Lee. Minho.
Yeah. Minho. They go to rescue him, and he's constantly been reliving. I'm spoiling stuff. Constantly reliving the same nightmare over and over and over and over again. So he doesn't know that he's in the nightmare again. So he's all angry, and he just like he beats the shit out of a dude, and he just runs and like 2-footed kicks this man into a wall. And there's another
drop
point.
kick.
Yeah.
I love drop kicks.
But like it's hilarious because he's just screaming like really loud, and it's just like, oh hey man, and then there's another scene where they're running from some dudes, and all of a sudden he just stops and turns around, and you think, oh, is he gonna sacrifice himself? No, he runs full speed ahead, and the dude turns the corner, and Minho just runs and drop kicks him again. And takes his gun. It's hilarious. But he's like, I'm tired of running.
Minho's a badass. Definitely a badass.
He is a badass. Yeah. The books also, the books are fun, but
it's a very
so are
interesting apocalypse environment. Like explain what sort of apocalypse is going on.
All right. So they have the so this is going to spoil it. Should I just
Spoiler alert, sure.
Okay, spoiler alert for the Maze Runner series. What ends up happening is the sun has a solar flare virus, which hits Earth, causing a lot of bad stuff to happen. So radiation kills off certain people. It hits technology. So some people are just vaporized in an instant. And a solar flare is a very real thing. It's kind of like a strand of the sun just like kind of waving off. I'm not explaining this well.
You're right.
But it hits the Earth, and it can knock out electronics, completely destroy them, but also it can hit Earth and completely fry anything on the surface. It'll also cause radiation damage. And if that were to happen, just tons of stuff would happen. I think in the books, they get hit with I think a tidal wave also hits a city. It's a fun book, but it's very scary. And what ends up happening, I'm not going to spoil the prequels, but what ends up happening is after that, somewhere, they think what happened is a lab, because of all of the electronics being knocked out, a plague was accidentally introduced. And they call it the flare, and it's kind of like a zombie thing, but it corrupts the mind, and it makes them grow... it makes them lose body parts and then also grow these weird growths, and they just go crazy ballistic. They attack people. It's very zombie-esque, but they're not zombies. They're just infected. Very scary. And one of the scariest, funniest, like I stopped because I had to laugh, but I was also terrified, is in the books, there's one scene where Thomas and this one person, they're hiding and they think they've hid from the infected that have gone by.
Honestly, it looks a lot like the cordyceps thing.
It does. And then they think they're safe, whatever. So they look out, and then there's just one staring at him, missing a nose, and he goes, hello, noses. And it's just completely out of there. But you're like, this guy's going to try to eat their face. You can just see it happening. But it just turns people crazy, ballistic. They try to infect everyone. It's fatal, 100% fatal for the most part. Not
it's
trying
really
to spoil
gross.
a ton of stuff. Yeah, no, it's horrendous.
But yeah, that's the premise. And now
their ears fall off, their nose, their lips.
now explain the whole
grow.
maze and like why they did that part.
All right, so 100% spoiling it. It's a very bad explanation, and I'm not talking about mine. I'm talking about the book and movies.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, the reason they have them in the maze is they're trying to induce fear. They also don't know what's going on, and
These
they're
are the kids that are
completely-
immune
Yeah.
to it, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, spoiler alert. The kids are immune to the flare, so the adults are like, wow, we can't recreate this in any way. So the solution is we figure out a cure. So they start making the kids afraid, not know what's going on, constantly in danger, and that's supposed to create the same chemical reactions in the brain and the same type of brain thought process that the people that go through the flare have. Because their theory is if they can mimic those same settings, they can then capture whatever chemical it is in the brain that keeps them from going insane and fights off the infection. And that's what I understood from from the books. That's what they were doing, and same with the movies. It doesn't translate well, and it's a very bad explanation, but it makes sense because in the end, it's like, wow, the kids were the cure, but not in the way that they could cure others, in the way that they were the cure, as in they were immune to it, and we should have been saving them instead of killing them off and trying to induce fear and all that. I don't know. The book was weak on that part. The reason for why they're in a maze, I honestly feel like the writer was like, all right, so we got this cool dystopia. These kids are in a maze. And then book 2, there's a virus, and they're being driven insane because that will give them the cure to the virus. Yes.
Perfect.
It's
Mark it. Go.
Yeah.
Put
it's
it out
bad.
there. Make
To
money.
be fair, I don't like the way the Maze Runner ends because it suffers from a lot of YA novels, which is young adult novels. Is there's usually a love triangle and then it has to
There's a
end
love
tragically.
triangle, yeah.
Someone's got to die, and that's the problem with most. You don't get that with the Hunger Games. Spoiler alert: I love the Hunger Games. Movies more than books. Now the books were better, but the movie shows the emotion. When Katniss is going through PTSD or when she's suffering from loss and she starts screaming at the cat, you know the scene I'm talking about.
Yep. She's going ape shit on a cat.
Yeah, she's not coming back, and she just starts sobbing, throwing shit at the cat, and then she eventually hugs the cat and just breaks down. Or when you have her waking up because she has PTSD from being in the games, that felt real, and that was amazing because you don't get that as well in the books. And it's just they both her and PETA suffer in that book. They both go through PTSD. Her, it's PTSD of killing people, the fight or flight never kicking off, the fact that she loses people she deeply cares about and loves, and PETA because he got the shit tortured out of him.
He got that tracker jacker venom shot up in his
Katniss
veins.
is over here like, I shot people and I lost people and I'm having PTSD, and PETA's like, well, I was tortured in the Capitol, like, and they they injected me with some shit and I thought everyone was the bad guy. But I'm not making fun of her like PTSD. That's a real thing. It's also survivors' remorse and guilt. But at the same time, I just love the difference. It's both real versions of PTSD. Him being tortured, being a prisoner of war, being the way they torture him is with small doses of tracker jacker venom, which is essentially these hyper bees.
Super wasps.
It's supposed to kill you generally, but in small doses it causes fear and whatever.
And
it causes you to hallucinate. So what they did is not only did they keep him awake and starve him, they also gave him small injections of this, and they were just freaking him the hell out, and then they were having him think that it was all Katniss's fault. So he got brainwashed over weeks and weeks of constantly getting beaten up, starved, sleep deprived, and then given that shit. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He did not get a good end of that, but it's really funny because you also have another character, and I can't remember her name, but she also got captured too and tortured, and she's way more different about it. So like, I At one point, there's water involved because they're training them to like, you're going to go to the Capitol. There's going to be a shit ton of traps. And she breaks down and starts screaming with water. And that's because that's what they used to torture her. They filled the room up with water and they'd waterboard her. This is getting dark. I just find the book good because it's realistic. A lot of young adult books, it's like more or less they deal with death and with stuff of that nature in the sense that it's more imagined than shown. It's less, they don't tell about it or show it. They more or less allude to it. Or else in Hunger Games, it's like, so the Capitol has these slaves that have their tongues cut out and they can't ever talk again. They're called Avoxes. And then, and it's scary. And then you get the scene, I don't know if they showed in the movie, but they do in the books, where they're working in the tunnels, all the Avoxes, and they send off these monsters to go kill the main characters. And you can hear these weird inhuman screams. And it's like, oh, that's the Avoxes getting murdered in the tunnels. The movies are dark. Like, the books are darker, but the movies get alluded to it. And then you got the part where the one guy who can't talk, it's the brother of a guy, he has PTSD. He's like, I know how we can get past this and go through the tunnels. But he starts getting PTSD because he was, used as a slave and he worked in the tunnels and he's afraid and all that. It's a good series. The people who made Hunger Games, the movie version, amazing. Jennifer Lawrence being cast as Katniss Everdeen, amazing. I can't remember the guy who played Peeta. I'm sorry. Amazing. And the person who wrote the books, amazing. That whole universe is an amazing dystopia. It's not an apocalyptic situation or the apocalypse, but it's a dystopia and it's very believable. Because throughout history, not just in America, but throughout, we've had a lot of different times.
Oh, that's right. Josh Hutcherson.
We've had a lot of different times where people have been underclass, where they've been forced labor, slaves, stuff like that. So it's believable that people can be lied to, history can be changed enough that eventually we're like, we're fine being segmented and all that. But that movie was great and terrifying.
Another apocalyptic. It's also like, it's like half apocalypse, half utopia. Because you look at the people in the Capitol, they're living in a utopia. But the people not living in the Capitol are like full-on apocalypse.
If you've never read the books or watched the movies, which I highly recommend both, you need time for the movies because it's a long one, but the last two ones are great. Watch it. But essentially what it is the Capitol, it's America, and it's after wars and wars, we've eventually cut ourselves off, so it's just us. Yeah,
it's very strange.
They never allude to whether the other countries are bombed to hell or we just cut ourselves off with them. But we've been segmented into, 13 districts?
Yeah, it was 13 districts, and then like the 13th district was lost or killed or something like that.
And they made the nuclear weapons, and then they got bombed to hell because they rebelled. Spoiler alert.
They came back.
They got bombed, but because they made the nuclear weaponry, the Capitol was like, all right, we're just going to pretend you don't exist and you're just going to like not nuke us. We'll just agree on that. And they were like, yeah, sure. And then they're like, all right, let's start making babies and bombs. We're going to rebel. So yeah, that's with that. But the 12 colonies or 12 districts each produce something. So you have ones that produce fishing, some produce coal, some produce technology, and all of them combined make up a good society, a utopia, which is the Capitol, where everyone is literally rich, doesn't know a thing. Like they eat so much food, they have a drink that they drink, which then makes them throw up.
Makes them sick so they can keep on eating.
So they can keep on eating, and it's very weird because you get the point of view of two people who have A, had to sell stuff, B, food's been a big problem, and the worry, like they hunt game illegally and go outside a guarded fence.
So they can just stay alive.
Yeah, them and their families. And then Peeta, who he burned bread, he was a baker, but he ended up burning bread on purpose, and he was supposed to give it to the pigs or whatever that they had, and instead he yeets it over to Katniss because he knows that her and her family were starving.
Yep.
And it's this big act of kindness, and then he gets the shit beaten out of him. He didn't get the shit beat out of him, but he later on, he's like, yeah, I got a beating for that or whatever, because he was supposed to give it to the pigs, but he didn't. He purposely burned it so he could give it to her because he knew that she was starving. And it's a very sweet relationship that they have. Like, it turns into a love triangle because all of them do, but, whatever.
Yeah. They always do. Same with Enclave. I think a good
and
book
I've
series.
not read that one. I want to. I just haven't thought about.
I have the
thought
books.
about getting Audible, but
I have the books.
yeah, I don't.
You don't want to manually read them?
No, I've gotten too used to audiobooks, and I'm lazy.
That's understandable.
I've read all of these books. I just don't read any new ones. I
I'll
mean,
look up the summary of
I
Enclave.
have books that I've listened to audiobook wise, and I want to buy.
New York
hard
City has
copies.
been decimated by war and plague. The most of civilization has migrated to underground enclaves, where life. Hold on, sorry, my eyes are adjusting. Where life expectancy is no more than the early 20s. When Deuce turns 15, she
Wait,
takes.
what's his name?
Her name
Her
is
name?
Deuce.
Deuce.
When Deuce turns 15, she takes on her role as a huntress and paired with Fade, a teenage hunter who lived topside as a young boy. And it's like a zombie apocalypse type thing.
Are they a couple?
And they turn into a couple.
I
But
knew
at
it.
the start, they're like,
I knew it. Is he a bad boy?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I know the type. I know that
You're into bad boys too?
Yeah, I'm into bad boys. I see them come in and they're
What
like,
you gonna
"Yo,
do?
I'm," because they're always like that. Like, not they're either a teenager or B, they're like a young adult and they're like, "Man, I got all these tattoos and I like live a hard life and all that." And that's the typical setup for every YA novel.
Yeah.
It's either A, that, or B, it's like, you don't want to love me because I'm insert something. I'm a vampire. I'm a werewolf. I'm a yada yada. It's repetitive, people. I'm glad that the YA novel, that tradition of it, the love triangles and the dark and mysterious guy, I'm glad it died. It got boring and predictable and blah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No offense. We got some good ones. We got Hunger Games.
I got some good ones, yeah.
We got most of the Maze Runner, except it's different with him. We also got Divergent, which I liked up until the ending. I didn't like the ending of Divergent.
I thought
and
Divergent was a good movie series, but I didn't enjoy the books. But I did enjoy the book.
I
It was
enjoyed
like an off-brand book. It was same creator, but it was Four's perspective, which is one of the guys.
It was called Four.
Yeah, it was called
It
Four.
was the
I
fourth
enjoyed that book.
and it gave to his past and all
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah. I knew it was gonna get bad, so spoiler alert, not mildly, but I knew it was gonna get bad when I think it was the second or third book started going from his point of view, and I was like, oh no, because
I didn't read the books. I think I read part of the first one, but I didn't enjoy it. I read the
they
book
didn't
4.
finish Divergent series, did they?
The movies?
Yeah,
I think they did.
I thought that it. So the
It got
problem.
it got to a point to where she escaped all of that city, and she went off, and then like they got to the point where they were like in the desert, and then she reached that invisible wall,
Yeah.
and then they let her in, and she was talking to the people of the other side that like weren't even a part of this weird society that they had created, and then she had like their leader bring her to like this really big utopia type city that she talked and all that stuff, and then
So are we gonna spoil Divergent? Because I can drop a lot of knowledge right here and spoil it all.
well, basically it got to a point to where she's like, weird outside government that's secretly controlling us, stay out of us and we'll do our own thing. And that was like the end of the Divergent movie.
So
The third one.
That's
fourth.
they didn't make enough money and the hype for it died, so they didn't make another movie, and I don't think they have any plans to.
Mm-hmm.
The big problem with the Divergent movies is they're okay, but they
I enjoyed the first one.
they took away a lot of stuff that the books had in. And when you take away small things like how a character meets or a big major event, which in books, that's usually a domino effect. So they meet this character or this event happens here and it comes back to bite him in the ass or help him in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is the movies, when I went and saw these, the movies skipped out on a couple things that would have been led up to very big things later on. And so that's why I was like, this is completely different. And they tried to bring it back around. But in my opinion, book was way better than the movies. Also, you get an ending with the book, and all of the death that happens in those books is meaningless, and I laughed when I heard about it.
Yeah, as you
Do
do.
you want it spoiled?
When death is meaningless, you laugh, of course.
Well, all of their deaths... Okay,
Go for it.
So in the
Spoiler.
Divergent... Spoiler alert for the Divergent series. I apologize. A lot of you are probably like, man, I really want to watch... And it's spoiled for me. So the Divergent series... Humanity was getting along very well.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they were noticing problems. with people who became killers or serial killers or something like that. People were whatever. Through genetic modifying, they tried to make people who would not become killers, who would not become this and that. But in doing so, the problem was they had people who genetically were predispositioned to do certain things or be a certain way. So like Dauntless, they were extremely, they were ready to give their lives and all that. The problem was they were cruel. You had Apathy or whatever, where they were also
reckless.
Yeah, and you had Apathy where they would put their lives on the line. They had no sense of survival, of own self-preservation. So each one had their problem. You had people who wanted to search for knowledge and all that. So in Divergent, you get all those different classes, and finally, once you get outside the wall, once they finally get out there, they realize, their whole city's walled off, and it's kind of what they're trying to do is, by erasing minds and having people have kids over and over again, they're trying to have it naturally breed out the genetic problems they made. And B, Divergent means normal. Mm-hmm. So the main character and everyone else and anyone else who's Divergent just means they're normal. Yep. They don't have a predisposition to be Dauntless or any of all that. They don't have the genetic problems which lead to them being, either complete a-holes that are vicious but selfless, or people who will go out of their way to give everything away but have no self-preservation, or people who will search for knowledge but at the same time have no compassion. So everyone that died in that series, it was all pointless, because the whole point of it was they were all in that city to help eventually all become Dauntless. And once they started getting Dauntless, it was like the big secret that what they were supposed to find and whatever. It was like, hey, once you start getting Dauntless, that means you're golden. That if you're reading this, that means you finally made it to the stage where we can now reconnect and you can start sending Dauntless out, because that means the genetic problems and whatever are better and all that. So everyone that died, every Divergent that was mercilessly killed or used to open the box or whatever it was in whichever version.
Yeah, that weird one.
All of it was pointless, because it was all that's why you get that point of view when she finally opens the box, whatever, after countless people have tried to open it and killed whatever. When it's finally open, it's like, congratulations, you finally figured out, you finally got to the point where you can reconnect with civilization, and you can send people out. And Divergence, that's good, that means you finally have normal people. And she goes, all right, execute her. Let's destroy all of this information, because she realizes.
Wait, hold on a second. The whole time beforehand, you were talking about everything was supposed to become Dauntless, and that's when you said it out. Did you mean Divergent?
I meant Divergent. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when they figure out people are Divergent and all that, they're like,
the whole time they're killing Divergents, but actually the whole mission was to breed in Divergents.
Yeah, which is normal people who aren't genetically, through genetics, going to be one of those classes. Like, that was the whole point. Genetic modification happened. They were trying to breed out problems, but instead breeded them in. And that's how that all happened. So they're like, all right, we're going to wall everyone off. We're going to erase their memories. And then you guys just make babies. And when you eventually start getting Divergence, that means you can send them back, and it means it's working. And that's the goal, make Divergence. But then over time, and because there wasn't a clear government going on, they weren't told enough information, so they thought Divergent meant outsider, meant all of these things. We need to hunt them down and kill them. And then it's like, oh no, that just meant regular people. What are you guys doing over there?
Yeah.
It's like, it was like a joke I heard where it was, where aliens come to Earth, but like Jesus is a thing. So they're like, oh yeah, well, when Jesus came, God sent down his son Jesus to our Earth, we like gathered all the chocolate and all that. What'd you guys do? And it's like, oh, we crucified him. The worst possible torture and form of execution at the time. That's what we did to the Savior. And it's just like, oh, we gave him chocolate. Like, it's that same reaction of, oh, what'd you guys do? We were hoping you'd get Divergent. What's been going on? Oh, we hunted them down and murdered all of them.
We killed every single one of them.
Yeah, and we've had countless lives wasted over this.
And they found a way to keep in the
They killed
the breeding of like the separate classes.
We killed the
They
divergents.
separated them
they
into
were
classes, and they killed all the divergents, and they make sure people stayed in their classes. They did the exact opposite of what they were supposed to do.
So everyone that died in Divergent, it was all a pointless death because in the end, what they were trying to make was humans.
Yeah.
Regular people.
Regular old people. Chillaxed.
Ooh, another not an apocalypse, but a dystopia. The Uglies. Read it. It's
The Uglies?
Oh yeah. So it's in a universe where once you hit a certain age, you go and you become pretty. They, through surgery and all that, they take your teeth, they file them down and then correct them. So that way you have perfect teeth, perfect jawbone, nose, perfect hair color, no problems, no scars, nothing. You will be the perfect, awesome person. You will be not genetically, but physically you will look amazing. You will be pretty. You will be
Here, I'll read a summary.
sexy. Yeah, read it.
It tells the story of a teenager, Tally Youngblood, who rebels against society's enforced conformity after her friends Shay and David show her the downsides of becoming a pretty, even though it is obvious to most people. Written for young adults, Uglies deals with themes of change, both emotional and physical. So what is this? Like society, you
hit a certain age and you go and you get a surgery that turns you.
You can. Is
not
that
ugly.
voluntary, or do you, when you hit that age, you have to become a pretty? Because it says here, Shay and David show her the downsides of becoming a pretty.
It's not like a thing. It's not necessarily a thing where everyone's like, I don't want to do that, because all they see is everyone on the other side of this river partying. They're all amazing and beautiful. So they're like, yeah, when I hit that age, I'm going to go do that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize the downside. Like, man, it's really weird. My friend turned the right age, went and got the surgery, but now instead of being rebellious and being smart, he's just dumb. And all he does is
Oh, it turns them all
party.
into sheeple? Partying sheeple?
It's a fun book series. I checked out after like the third book because then I was like, all right, let's go on to the next one. And it's like, oh, this takes years after and it's about something else. And I don't want to know.
You get that quite often with everything. They come up with a cool premise and you enjoy the premise and it starts off that way. For example, the Maze Runner, that whole them being stuck in the maze thing, amazing. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the book. It was amazing.
And then
but then when they got out of that,
like
that whole premise was out.
Zombies.
That premise was out. It was different. It was gone. Now they're like just trying to continue it and suck the money out. And it's just like, it's not that good anymore.
See, book-wise, it was fun. I just didn't like the ending because, again, love triangle, yada, yada.
Yeah.
There's, I Am the Soldier or whatever, which is a cool book series. And I Am the Weapon. Search that.
I Am the Weapon.
There's a little series.
Zadoff creates a character that begins as a normal child, and through the program, it changed into this unfeeling machine, forged into a weapon you can't help but fear and yet feel sympathy for Ben. He lives only to complete his next assignment, living mission to mission, changing characters like a chameleon.
Yeah, it's a child soldier. So it's not a post-apocalyptic anything.
What was that one you were talking about? Sorry. I'll bring it up later. Keep talking about this.
So this one's cool because it's one of those series where like you want it to continue, and I think it has 3 books, and in the third one you're like, that was an amazing ending, but I want to know what they do now. Mm-hmm. And people have asked the author, and like the reason I got completely turned off from the author is he was like, oh, I don't plan on making another book in the future at all, but here you can check out some of my other work. And I was like, no, I'm after not. So authors are a bit like YouTubers. Everyone has their certain preference for not just that person doing it, but just what they do too. Some people like YouTubers that play certain types of games or certain styles, but you know, you're after it for that certain thing. It's the same thing with ASMRists. You have a specific one you like, but a specific thing they do that you like. So like when it comes to authors, it's like, I want another book in this universe. And it's like, no.
That's every creator, yeah.
One. Anyways, that book series is pretty cool because essentially they take a child, turn him into a child soldier, like an assassin.
That pause made it perfect. They take a child and they don't change a thing.
No, but they turn him into an assassin, and
Mm-hmm.
what makes it so vicious is he's so young. So the problem is he has the knowledge on how to kill people, how to fight,
Mm-hmm.
but he's a little kid, a little like teen. So you're like, oh, it's just a kid, and then he murders you and two of your friends, and he's like, mission complete. Now time to take on a new identity. So it's very cool.
Is it in a third person, like talking of the weapon did this, or is it in his own mind?
It's in his head, and
Okay.
so he struggles
So you
a lot.
get that internal turmoil.
Yeah, he struggles. No, well, you get bits and pieces where you start to see him poke through the cracks, but generally, he's like, is he a problem? No, he's not a problem. One of the cooler parts is where he gets annoyed with a bully because he adapts to the situation. He gets close to a target, so he gets close to a kid, and he becomes their best friend, and then that's how he gets close enough to murder their parental that's a diplomat or something like that. So it's all like spy stuff, whatever. He also has a cool pen. So it's like it's like a normal pen, but if he clicks it twice, instead of dropping the ink cartridge down, the pen, it actually switches it for a hypodermic needle. And so that's how he kills him.
Oh, that's pretty
Stabs him with that, and he waits, and it gives him a heart attack, and it's untraceable. So it's cool in the regards where it feels very like James Bond-esque, except you're like, all right,
Mixed with Percy Jackson, because he's got that pen he can
No,
in the book.
that turns into a sword. This one, you stab someone
in
and
the
they
book.
die.
If he takes off the
Well, if you
cap,
stab both of them, they die.
it's a capped pen. If he takes off the cap, it turns into a blade. And then if he
Magically.
takes the cap and he puts it to the tip of the blade, it turns back into a pen.
And it always ends up in his pocket.
Yeah, it always ends up in his pocket of any jeans any jeans or shorts he's wearing. But later on, he finds out like, wait, I actually need a pen right now. Can I use this for a pen? And instead of like taking off the cap and forgetting about it, or like putting it back to the top to put the pen away, he touches the cap to the hilt of the blade, and it turns into a pen. And he's like, "Oh, all right." But in the movie, it's a pen that if he like double clicks or something like that, it's a click pen, and whenever he clicks it, it turns into a sword.
I like the movie version because you get to see it transform. Like in the books, you just get the idea of it's magical and cool.
Yeah.
But in the movies, he clicks it and you get to watch
It's like
it.
a transformer. Yeah, like ching ching ching. It
It's
transforms out.
It's so stupid, but like seeing that movie, I was like a teenager and I was like, I want it. Because
want it
he
all.
clicks it and then turns into a sword. And that's one of the coolest things. Because my thought process is, man, that would be really cool. I'd lose that pen cap, though, and then I'd have to yeet the sword and run away so it would appear in my pocket.
No, I think in the book it specifies like he just sometimes just takes off the cap and forgets about it, and it'll just always be in his pocket, so he can just take the cap out of his pocket and put the sword back away.
That's such a cool aspect to be able to yeet your weapon away or lose it and then just like, I don't know, cha magic. So yeah, Percy Jackson, if you don't know what that's about, it's Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and it's about the Greek and...
The first one's about the lightning thief.
Yeah, but it's about the Greek gods being real and they're still making babies.
Have you read them all?
technically. No, my brother has. My brother
great series. I've got them all.
got into that, and then he was like, I love the mythology. And then he just went and read...
Did he read The Heroes of Olympus, the next one?
Yeah, he's read them all.
Good.
He's read the branching off series that deal with Egyptian gods.
Oh yeah, the Kane Chronicles. Yeah, it's a trilogy.
That's what got him into all that. So
Great.
like for me, I
read
into
them too.
like, Ranger's Apprentice was cool. That was when I was like, I need a longbow.
Mhm.
Because that deals with knights and stuff like that, and you get the older stuff. But anyways, I got way off topic. Point being, it's a good book. It's just one of those ones where you want it to continue because some book series
Which
they
book?
end. The I Am the Weapon.
Okay.
The one about the child soldier.
Yeah.
The child assassin. I don't know. That one's cool though, because you get at the same point, you're like, this is kind of dorky and childish. And then there's a scene where he's like, I'm pretty sure I have a tracker in me. So he just starts cutting up different parts of his body where it would be likely to hide something like that.
Mhm.
And you also get scenes where he like knife fights someone and has to like kill them. And he's very cold and calculated in his head. Like there's one scene where he's like, this guy knows who I am. I'm going to have to kill him. And he's like calculating all of the shit going on.
Mhm.
So he's like, there's no one around. I could probably take him out in 3 seconds and be able to snap his neck. Like put him in a chokehold. He'll pass out after this long and then snap his neck. I can hide the body here and there. And the guy goes, I know who you are. You're super strong, super smart. You're a vampire. Please turn me into a vampire. And the guy goes, what the shit? Oh, okay. Because like at one point he gets really annoyed because the girl, the person he's supposed to get close to take out the dad, she got really annoyed because he walked past this kid being bullied. So the next time around, when he sees that, he stops, does a full 180, walks over, and he's like, "You need to stop bullying him." Yada yada. Kid gets like really annoyed, so he goes, "All right," and then I think he ends up like hyper extending. He says break, and then he goes, "Not broke," hyper extends the guy's wrist and like does all the stuff, but essentially jacks him and his friends up. I said up that time.
Yeah, good job. Good
But
fix.
no, so he gets and it's also a side of him being like, you know what, they're picking on this dude, they're annoying, I know how to take them down. Screw it, let's hyperextend some stuff. Not breaking, just pulling until it disjoints slightly. So it's a very cool scene of, like the bully getting what they deserve.
You talking about this reminds me of the book you were talking about at work with the kids that could kill on like touch or sight or something.
So, I can't remember what this book is called. I just remember the premise, and it's essentially, I think it's in the womb. It's what happens when there's twins born, but then one absorbs the other, so they're called a chimera. And these kids are abducted because they have powers, and they're trained so that, you gotta throw, your, predispositions or whatever to the wind. You just gotta live in this world.
Word of the day.
So they're like mutants. So when they touch people, they can kill them. So like they can touch someone and they can cause an artery to rupture in their body or cause harm like that. By touching them, it's like they've suddenly been given a scalpel they can use anywhere. So it's a very cool aspect. And they're kids that are used. Again, child soldiers. The funnest books.
Of course.
Yeah. But no, they're used as, but they use kids because one, easier to train, and two, no one suspects the kid murdered someone. So they're sold as assassins, the most elite, whatever.
Yeah.
So you get this cool aspect of the main character, who's one of them, got rescued. Keep in mind, I picked this up randomly at a library. I was reading book 2, not book 1. So I jumped into this mess. And there's a whole school of them that are being taught, and there's one that can do it with her mind. So she can literally just...
She's like the leader one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, spoiler alert.
Oh, okay.
Spoiler
I just
alert
assumed
for
that.
spoiler alert for a book I cannot remember the name of. But yeah, there's one person that can do it with her mind. Instead of having to touch people, she can use her mind to kill them. And it's not like kill, like they're just instantly dead. No, it's like they go and they think, I'm gonna cause a brain aneurysm. I'll start a blood clot here. Or, I'll
Shatter Me?
Dude, I have no idea.
Is that it? Shatter Me is a young adult dystopian thriller about the book is narrated by Juliet, a 17-year-old girl with a lethal touch.
Nope. It's about
the last things I told you.
The main character is a boy, and
Wreck This Journal.
It's not a dystopia. It's just modern times. But yeah, no. So essentially, it's just sketchy, and scary. And you get this one scene where it's like, zombies, and then it's like, oh, it's not a zombie. The dude had a brain aneurysm, and he looks dead because
The
his
Power?
body thinks he's dead. I don't know. Read the bio to me.
A fierce new power has emerged, and only women have it now.
No.
Women power.
I'll have to search it up and let you know.
Butterflies a touch. Huh. I'll keep looking. You keep talking.
Yeah, but they have this power. Yeah, and they can murder people by touching them. And it goes on that he's telling his brother, "Yeah, I have a way to take away their ability to kill." Because he is good and still has a conscience, whilst they are like, "Yeah, murder. We're all psychopaths here." So they spend the book trying to figure out how to stop them, and then they finally go there, and then they realize they've all escaped, and they were being led by one of the guys who didn't really stand out. I mean, yeah, he was psychopathic and he murdered people, but he didn't really stand out. And then I think he gets shot. It's either a tranq dart or with a gun. I can't remember which. But he gets shot because he's the leader, and he just stops talking. And he looks at the girl that can do stuff with her mind, and he goes, did I do it right? Did I say all the right things? And you suddenly realize, oh, he's a puppet, and the leader is the one that can literally from anywhere just like snap your neck, whatever.
Is it if she can see you, or can she just think about you dying and you die?
You have to be nearby, but she doesn't have to touch you. I think she might have to see you.
Okay.
And then there is a sniper team, and so they see her and they know that she's the one that can, like, with her mind just kill you. And so they shoot her and she falls off a bridge into a river down below. But in that last second, when she's shot and she whips around, she turns, sees them, and just kills them. And then you get this moment of, all right, so the main character is finally going to get around to making all of them unable to hurt anybody. You know, the cure he was talking about. And it's like, psych, he didn't have a cure. He just gives them all, what's it called? You take away someone's anger and all that. He gives them a...
There's other ones. It's unravel me, ignite me.
It's from a boy's perspective, not
restore
a chick's.
me, destroy me, defy me, fracture me, imagine me.
Yeah,
Holy crap, how many of these freaking books did they write?
Okay, but is it the right one, or is that just...
I don't know. This is the only one that keeps popping up no matter what I look up.
Is it a chick?
It's a chick, but that's just shatter me. It might be different ones. Ignite me, maybe. Restore me. Here, I'll look up destroy me. Destroy me. Whatever.
Well.
Whatever. Oh, well.
Anyways, so you get this...
If you know, put it in the comments.
Yeah, lobotomize. That's what he does to him. Because he spends the book telling his brother, yeah, no, I got a cure. I'm working on it, figuring it out, what can take away their power. And then it gets down to it, and he's like, nope, just kidding. Lobotomy. They won't
cure is
hurt
death.
you. No. Lobotomy isn't death. It's a brain operation where they essentially cut away the part of your brain that does all the anger. So if someone... When
you were talking to me, I thought you told me that he killed them.
He essentially killed them. Because he couldn't figure out a cure, and he couldn't take their powers away.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't want to murder them. So what he did was gave them a lobotomy. They have the knowledge how to change their lives, go lead different ones. The thing is, they'll never hurt anyone in anger. They can't ever feel anger again. That's what a lobotomy does. They used to do it in like psych wards and stuff like that with people who were aggressive and stuff like that. So they'd go in, they'd make an incision, and it would take away someone's want and will to be aggressive. Which is terrible. You either kill somebody or you don't, but you shouldn't be modifying people. That's just wrong.
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah. So they don't do lobotomies anymore. But yeah, so yeah, you're led the whole time. He's like, yep, got the cure. Just kidding. No cure. Gonna lobotomize all of them. And then one of the ones that, one got away that he figured out, oh, she's one of them. Because he had been chatting her up. And like he was trying to date her because he wasn't very good with people.
Okay.
And then you think she died, whatever, because it leads you to believe that. And then he gets a message, and it's like, hello. And then it's got like an emoji or something that she used all the time. And he smiles. Which is, you get this weird moment because it's like she was working with the bad guys, but at the same time, hello again.
Shalom.
Yeah, again, we're going to talk about apocalypses and dystopias.
We have been.
I know, I keep getting us off topic with the...
What's Rot and Ruin? You brought that up a few times.
So, that one I like because a lot of ones, they either explain the virus away as it's a virus or God or something. You know, it's like The Walking Dead never really got into the explanation.
They
Rot and Ruin... They're not zombies. They're infected, and it's a virus or whatever. That's what they went into.
It's a virus that affects everybody, and when you die, it jumpstarts that lower part of your brain, that brain stem area, just so you know how to like walk and kill. That's it.
Yeah, zombie apocalypses are good, but your explanation has to be good, or just having a reason in general. There's certain ones that don't try to explain it, and then there's like I've read books where it was like it's an act of God, and they can still be good. Just if you ever think about writing, make it creative and make it believable. It doesn't have to be super scientifically good, but I've read ones that are. Anyways, Rotten Ruin goes out of its way to explain the zombies at one point, but essentially post-apocalyptic.
Is that one of your alarms to keep
Yep.
you awake?
Yeah, constantly setting alarms, because when I should be awake, I should be awake. When I should be asleep, I should be sleeping, but I never do either. Always mixed up. Anyways, yeah, so in Rotten Ruin, it's an apocalypse where out of nowhere, zombies started.
Mm-hmm.
And so now there's these small walled-off towns, and everyone's gone back. Not a couple hundred years, but generally people wear like rugs and stuff like that because it's super thick. They don't wear it like, fashion, but they wear rug type material because it's very bite-proof, and then they cover horses in it, and then they have horse-pulled wagons because most machines have broken down. So it's like life trying to move on, but another problem is a lot of people are fearful. Like, some people are stupid, and they believe that technology and electricity were the reason that that it was God mad at that. So then the apocalypse started. So a lot of people don't move on to get everything up and running again. They're a little afraid. And so you have a character, and he hates his brother because he thinks his brother abandoned their parents to die on the famous night that it happened. And I'm not spoiling this one because I want people to read it. But his brother goes out and he does bounties on zombies. And not in the way where he goes out and he kills for money, but, I mean, that is a thing in the world. But no, he goes out and he puts people down, and he gets paid for that. Because, if the zombie apocalypse was real and we got some semblance of peace and normality out of it, you would want, your mom, dad, brother, whatever, if they were still around and kicking as a zombie, you'd want them to be put down so they couldn't hurt anyone else and so they could be at peace.
Oh, that's what he does. Okay.
Yeah. So he's a bounty hunter of zombies, but he's not doing it to collect heads and get money. He does it to bring people to peace and bring ease to family members who lost people.
Mm.
So it's a very good series, and you get the two different ideals. I think it's a little heavy-handed at times, where it's the idea of, well, they're zombies, we should put them all down, versus, well, they were people once, and we should, treat it with respect.
If this isn't hopefully isn't, but if it isn't a spoiler, can you explain, like, the in-depth of the virus itself?
Oh, yeah, no, it's a virus. This is a spoiler, but it's just spoiling what happened. It was created in a lab, and I can't remember how exactly it got out, but one day there was a breach by a group of a-hole anarchists, whatever, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it spread through the air, and it gets in your system, and it stays dormant, just like in any other, you're all infected one. And the bite jumpstarts the system, or if you die, it reanimates. But it's an actual organism, kind of like a parasite and all that fun stuff. But yeah, they go into depth trying to explain it, and they make it kind of sciencey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it sounds real enough that if you don't know what they're talking about, you could believe it. But it has an actual start and an actual cause. Where else, other ones are just like, yeah, well, it's zombies. Well, they're infected. But how are they infected? What restarts them? Well, they just they die and they come back. But how can you be infected? Weird. But how can you be infected but not a zombie? Well, yada, yada, yada. With this one, it goes out of its way to explain it a little bit more than that. And it's more, you're infected, everyone is, but it's inactive.
Okay. So fairly similar to the Walking Dead's version.
Yeah, they actually try to explain it. They explain that it was made in a lab and there was an accident. and that it's dormant, whatever, the body fights it off.
With that completely eluded me. Never mind. Keep talking.
All right. Oh, the thing you were going to bring up, and then you said, I'll wait, and then I explained, and then I forgot.
Yeah, I completely forgot.
I'm sorry.
Not your fault, man. No worries. No worries.
Yeah, and so you got a book like that. So Rotten Ruin, basic zombies, a little more in depth. Then you have another one that's in depth and also scary as hell, and that's The Dead. So book 1 is The Enemy, and that whole series is terrifying.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's everyone above or 18 and above turns into a zombie, and not the, my arm can be off and I'm walking around. No. It's still thinking. You have people that have gone insane.
Is it kind of like an I Am Legend type zombie?
Kind of. They still think and they can still speak occasionally, but they are very zombies. So you have 17 and younger. So you have kids fighting off full-grown people trying to eat them.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally they talk and they have tactics, and it's terrifying. This universe that's created is terrifying. And you watch a lot of people die in gruesome ways.
And it's kids. A lot of kids
Yeah,
dying
it's
in gruesome ways.
kids. It's full-on children. And if you get attached to someone, just realize, hey, they might brutally die. Seriously, it's cool.
Is it a main character type thing, or is it a third person?
You get their view, but then you also get some third person point of view a little bit. Generally though, none of those books are technically in order. I think so. The second one I think is a prequel. The third one takes place from another character's point of view and at a different time. They're all telling a cohesive story. It's just not always in sync. Like the first one, you get a little bit of this, and then it's all right, and then they settled down at a gigantic store and they walled it off because it already had some walls, so they built a gate. And then the other one, you're like, whoa, this is cool. Man, these are some cool characters. What? That's who these people are? All right. And then you got some cool characters. You got some that survived. So some that are very brutal, other ones where they're a good tactical leader. You have basic problems where some are I definitely want to lead. Congratulations, I am king. And you have others where it's I'm leading because these people count on me. And you get, you have differences where it's some groups roll around with bows and arrows. Some roll around with mainly, a lot of them use blunt objects and swords and stuff like that, not guns. But then occasionally you have groups that have weapons, actual guns. You get these different, and it's all these, and it's all kids, but they're all separated in different little groups. You have ones that roll around wearing the faces of zombies.
Oh yeah,
they
masks, did that in Walking Dead too.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Oh well.
But no, it's these kids wearing leather face masks, real faces, and they go out and they kill for fun and for sport, and you think, man, that's barbaric. But then one of the main characters gets to know them, and it's oh, they're just kids, and that's just what they do. And you have kids where it's
still kind of fucking barbaric.
No, it's barbaric, but you go from thinking, damn, this kid's crazy and all that, and then he settles down and he's like, yeah, no, what do you need? I can get you anything you need. Yeah, da-da-da-da. And then it's oh, they have the big scary dogs, they wear human faces, but they're still kids at the end of the day. They're still dealing with stuff. But it's literally a world where it's all right, now take all the adults, turn them into thinking and occasionally talking zombies, and they want to eat the children. And now, go. It's gory. It's bad. There's these group of kids that they're born really defective.
That means you gotta have, if you want to continue the species, you gotta have kids at really young too.
Oh, it doesn't take place. It takes place a little bit depending on which book you're reading. It's not years and years into the future.
But I mean, still, if that species
universe,
they're gonna have to have kids real young.
Well, you get a point where
really
there's
young.
a couple 16-year-olds and stuff like that, young teenagers that are pregnant, not in the group, but they run into another group, and it's yeah, we take care of them, and she over there, she has a baby, she's pregnant, yada yada, because it's still teenagers, because you're a teenager and you're stupid, as most are.
Well, in that time, that's as old as you get. So
Yeah.
you're
Well,
old at that point.
You got to understand, it's not years into the apocalypse or anything. It's I think it's like a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
Long enough they know how to go about things, but they're not. No one's really 18 yet, and you get one character who's afraid because they're going to turn 18 soon.
Is it the
And-
day you turn 18?
Well, I know how it happens. I haven't finished the book series.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten around to it. But it's the whole reason they're all that way is because something happened 18 odd years ago that infected everyone else. And then it just took time. It's a virus. It's a scary virus too. Not just a virus. It's a parasite
Okay.
and a virus together, and it also is a hive mind. It is some crazy shit.
That is weird.
Yeah, it's like a virus parasite
That's
hive mind.
intense.
Yeah, I know.
Are they fast moving too?
They're people. That's what you're
That's-
not getting.
that's
These are full-grown
insane.
adults
Mhm.
chasing after 10 and 12-year-olds trying to eat them. Like, one of the characters literally gets kidnapped out of the area they're in because a couple adults hop over, kidnap him, throw him in a sack, and then go back to their place because they're going to eat him. And you get that point of view. He doesn't get eaten. But people get eaten. They die.
So there's
this
this
one-
infection doesn't necessarily turn them into zombies. It just like turns them into savages.
Like, complete apeshit savages.
Mhm.
Also, the sunlight burns them. So
So
like,
this is
the ones-
totally an I Am Legend situation.
It's like I Am Legend, except scarier. And it's like the kids, if they get bit, they get turned too.
They
get turned
early.
Yeah, but they get turned, but they don't turn. They turn into. They don't die or anything. It's not. It's it's like the one guy in a zombie apocalypse who gets bit and is pretending not to be bit. And he's like, getting paler, and he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm fine. Y'all want to go get a bite to eat? Grab some beans.
That was
You
good.
look so good there.
That was
yeah, no,
good.
because you always get that stereotype. Because, like, honestly, if you're in a zombie apocalypse, it either makes sense to either walk away, or B, be like, hey, yo, yeah, I'm infected. This is a problem. But everyone's always like, no, I'm not bit. What? No, I'm fine. I'm not turning. What? No, I'm
It's
not
okay.
pale. I'm not sweating. I'm totally fine. I'm totally brains. No, I'm fine. Calm down. You get that type of scenario, and I love that stereotype. You always get stereotypes in anime, TV shows, like watching My Hero Academia. I'm like, wow, so this kid wants to be the best, and his best friend wants to be the best too, and
Yeah.
they were best friends as a kid, and now they're rivals.
It's a total
Naruto.
Naruto Sasuke
But it's
situation.
more than that. You get it with other ones too. It's
And
just
then,
I'm tired of the tropes. They're okay. Like I'm the OP character who's OP when it matters, but not when it doesn't. Certain things I don't like about anime is the common tropes popping up a lot, the similarities, and then the fact that you occasionally get it where it's like, hey, guess what? Filler episode, we're going to the beach in Japan. Yeah. Nothing's going to happen. Or you have preparing for the battle for like 2 episodes.
Yep.
Or you have, I need to formulate a plan. They're about to kidnap my best friend. Now, normally I would act right now, but for some reason I have to think about this through. Now, let's make a quick and talk. We'll make a quick plan. We'll talk about it in depth for the next 10 minutes.
And overall, if
And
you
the guys
analyze the
over there
plan,
are still
if you
battling.
analyze the plan they just made, it's like the most basic plan you could have thought up on the spot.
Yeah, well, that happens in My Hero Academia. At
All
one
the
point,
time.
they have to rescue their friend, and so you
Still a
think,
good show,
all right, so
but-
jump in there with your quirks. Well, maybe I'm not fast enough, and we're not allowed to use our quirks, because if we do, we'll get in trouble.
Because weird government things.
Yeah, but our friend is over there about to get the shit beat out of him, kidnapped and probably tortured, and these guys are murdering people. But if we use our quirks, are we any better than them? Then we're just the villains. If we act without, if we use our quirks when we're not allowed, we're just villains. And it's like, I don't remember you taking people and changing them or murdering them. I don't remember that happening. When did you become the villain? Like, it's stupid. And then it's like, all right, so here's the plan. We can't use our quirks. offensively. But if we make a gigantic sled and I yeet myself off, and then we take the one dude that this guy's friends with, because if we say, hey, grab our hand, you're going to be kidnapped and probably murdered. Because he would say, no, don't tell me what to do. But the one man he's made a connection with, he'll grab his hand. Because that's important. Because in a life or death scenario, this guy's going to be like, what? I'm not moving with you. I hate your guts. I'm just going to stand here and be kidnapped and murdered. Like, it's stupid. Anime, we love you. You create worlds that we could never imagine and worlds we want to live in. But your tropes are annoying and your filler episodes are annoying and the complex scenes where a man has to, like, I get people like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, but that show is literally, but if I do this, he'll do that. But if I do this, he'll do that. But he'll think I'm doing that while I do this. And yeah. Okay, so off topic again.
There's some animes that don't follow that though, like Full Metal Alchemist. Amazing anime.
It bored me.
You didn't like Full Metal Alchemist?
I could never get into it.
I loved it.
Now I know the show, and all I gotta say is the cat says meow. The goat says meow. The sheep goes.
The goat says what?
I can't remember.
What?
Goats are weird. They're like, they just scream. The cow goes moo. The sheep goes meow. The dog goes Edward.
Edward.
Dude, that scene, both in the live
So
action,
sad.
and no, it was more than just sad though. To me, I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's creepy. Oh
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
It's a dark show.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, they can fix her. They can fix it. They can fix it. Can't
Nope.
they fix it?
No, they cannot.
Time to put down this excuse of a human being. Don't hurt daddy. Time to put down this creature in pain.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Oh my goodness. That is one of the few times I've cried over an
It
anime.
starts off dark too. It starts off with the
I'm
two
gonna
of
bring
them
my mom
trying
back
to bring
life.
their mom
we
back
got
to
all
life.
of the things.
And then they
Why
make
is
this
this
weird
going bad?
homunculus
Oh, my
creature.
arm, my leg. Where you at, brother? I'm a go.
Yeah,
I'm
he
here. I just don't
takes
have
his
a
brother's
body.
entire thing, and then he soul bonds his brother's soul to a suit of armor, and oh my gosh, it's insane.
Yeah,
it really is.
That it just starts off with, well, here's why this doesn't work. It's like Attack on Titan.
They did a
Some
full.
animes
They
just
did
kick
a.
off dark.
They did a live action one.
Yeah, and in both
I didn't watch
live
it.
action,
I didn't watch it at all.
Yeah.
Didn't watch a minute of it.
in both live action and the anime, both of the Edward scenes were terrifying.
They did an
sad.
Edward in the live action. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched bits and pieces.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, cause let me explain this scene. I'm spoiling it. So a little girl and a dog. So in Full Metal Alchemist, they can use alchemy to mix things together and stuff like that, create things. So you get this scene where a guy, it's horribly revealed that he did the same thing to his wife. He's running out of time to create something new and whatever to stay with his alchemy license, to be able to do that. So what he ends up doing is he turns his wife into something, which it's seen, what they think is, oh, you made a random creature, cool.
I'm gonna play it.
But it wasn't.
Oh wait, no, that's not.
No, I don't want to listen. This shit hits me.
I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it.
And then they do this.
I'm just gonna keep skipping through until we get to the Edward.
I wish I could watch this with you without having to go all the way over there.
I'll get there eventually. Where's this Edward crap? Oh, that's. They got a Japanese guy with like. He just looks like K-pop. All right. Keep skipping through until we get to Edward. That isn't it. Oh, the little girl with the dog.
I hate this shit. Anime doesn't have the right to make you feel all of these emotions like you do.
そうよくできたねエド兄ちゃんあそこ
What?
You're the one that clicked on the video. I can't see it.
This is terrible acting too.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's terrible, dude.
But I
thought it was a great anime, but terrible acting.
No.
Edward, come play with
Live
me.
action never works out. Anyways, so essentially the guy, in a last-ditch effort to keep his license, ends up turning his wife into something, a creature. And then later on, he does the same thing with his daughter and the family dog. So you get this horrendous creature, and then it hits you like a literal gut punch.
Human anime.
Oh shit! The daughter is the dog creature. They've been mixed together, and now she's forever mixed with a dog. Because it'll never be the same.
Mm-hmm.
She's stuck like that.
Yeah.
There's so much wrong with her now. She doesn't even get it because she's a young kid. She doesn't understand what's happened. All she knows is...
Yeah, and then one of the characters from the show, Scar, he has an arm that can, like, destroy anything. And he's like, you're an abomination. I'm going to put you out of your misery.
He's nicer with her than it's sounding right now.
That's what he did, though. I was thinking it was a good time to cut it off.
He puts the dad down because the dad's a terrible, evil person for doing that. And then he puts he's like an anti-hero type. One of the last words of the daughter is, "Don't hurt dad." And then he puts her down too because A, living in pain constantly, B, an abomination.
Yeah.
C, you can never turn her back.
You won't be able to, no.
She's some horrific monster. And it's not in the way that she's bad. It's just he combined a dog and a girl into this creature. I thought it was a pony the first time I saw it. It honestly looks like that. It looks like a shaggy...
Kind of, yeah. It's got that long snout. I'll look up a photo.
You have to
show you on YouTube.
You have to watch it. You won't get... There's probably someone that's like, well, why did he kill the girl? Or why couldn't they change it back? Or what's the problem with her being mixed with a dog? And it's...
Those on YouTube can check her out. It looks very interesting. Kind of like a lion, dog, pony type mix.
Yeah, he takes a giant dog, or the giant household dog, and the girl, and mixes them together. Like, he literally just combines them. And the reason that's not okay is because
it's a human.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it other than it's more horrific in the show and all that. But it's just it's terrible.
All right, we are going to end this podcast on that super sad note of little girl turned into a dog.
I didn't even get to finish all the stuff. Damn it.
No worries.
I'm just always off track.
We had fun, man.
Maybe there's a part 3. Maybe we leave it here. I'll have to finish not Rotten Room, The Dead. But yeah, no, this is fun. This one was more sad than any of the others.
Big sad, yeah.
Usually the apocalypse, you'd think that'd be sad for me, but it's more fun. It's more like, yeah, Mad Max, you ride around, you can do whatever. But then you get into stuff that's like sad, like little children being eaten. It gets dark.
And little children being turned into dogs. All right. You know the drill. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, hit the bell, blah, 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 etc. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends' friends. Tell your mama. Tell your mom's friends.
Tell your mama's friends' friends. Tell your grandmama. Tell your cousins.
All your friends.
Tell everyone. We out. Peace.
Y'all have a nice day.
But it is what it is. Some people got too much pride. Some people always gonna lie, but it is what it is. Some people ain't gonna change. They're gonna be the same till they die. It is what it is. Some people always gonna be fake. Some people always gonna hate. It is what it is. I got a lot on my plate, but at the end of the day,